Episode 29. Thank you all for listening to episode 28, Turkey Ted, a heel turn story. I am Gary, here with my one and only co-host.
We don't have any other co-hosts today?
No, unfortunately, Jake has to fly to Oregon to take care of some...
Oregon or Oregon?
Oregon?
Oregon.
Oregon's
like
the city.
Trail?
Oregon Trail.
I say Oregon.
Oregon, whatever. What's that city in Ohio? Oregon. Yeah, so I think it's Oregon.
Yeah. Okay.
Either way, who are you?
I'm Bear/Ryan/Bear.
Okay.
/Ryan/Bear.
I like it.
Cub.
And Brandon is off again, but he's going to call into the show a little bit later.
Boo!
Say that again.
Boo!
Thank you.
I just saw bees around. That's why I said that.
Yeah, 33-degree weather.
Yes!
It's wonderful.
I saw them. I swear.
I didn't tell you quite yet, but I worked out an arrangement with ex-wife. I think we're going to rent a room in the house because it's just too damn cold out here.
Instead of renting, can we just sneak in instead? Just try not to make a lot of noise.
Yeah, but...
We can like it's talk radio.
We could, but like Tuesday and Wednesday night, she has the kid, so he might hear us.
That's true.
And then the dog, he's nuts. So people might hear dog barking in the background.
I'm actually pretty sure that's why you guys got divorced, because that dog hated me.
Probably true. Wait. What were you doing? What are you saying?
Well, so I was just making a point. The dog just didn't like me when I came over to hang out. So that's why. That was like 2% of the reason, I think.
Hang out with her or us? What are you trying to say?
Together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering there for a second.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, why would I come over every other weekend you were gone?
Shit.
Wait, what?
You're lucky I like you.
New phone, who dis?
Yes, who dis? Thanks to Wes Anderson for Moments in Time. Check him out at Wes Anderson Music on Facebook. Give him a follow on Twitter at SongsByWes. Thank you to All Wear Clothing, the first and primary sponsor of Over the Line Sports Podcast. Thank you to Crandall's Quality Lawn Care. I don't know if you saw it, if you've been over to my house, he fixed the steps and the walkway, so it's all elevated now. Not going to have any ice.
Didn't almost trip over it.
Yeah, that's good.
It was nice.
Yes. So,
Thanks, Scene.
He serves the Toledo and surrounding area and not
Spain.
I like it a lot.
I didn't even mention one that I had the last 4 weeks over and over again.
Beautiful.
I'll have to study up for Saturday when we do the wrestling one because I'm almost out of country again.
Yes, you are. Thanks to Verizon, True Technology Business Partner, helps local businesses. We appreciate what they do for us. Thank you to PNC. Visit Cassandra at PNC to help with your personal banking. She's there to help. Give her a call, 419-877-0634. And guess what, man?
What?
What kind of truck you drive?
Dodge Ram 1500 Big Horn Edition, 2015.
I have a 2018 Dodge Ram 1500 Bighorn Edition. Jake has a 2013, I believe, Dodge Ram. I think he has a Bighorn as well. And Brandon drives a Chrysler, so you know what that means for us?
We get a free Jeep.
No, I wish, but Dodge has joined Over the Line Sports Podcast in supporting us. So
awesome.
Thanks to Ben Meyer over there. Give him a call, 419-893-0241, or stop in at Charlie's Dodge in Maumee, and he will take care of you. Again, that's Ben Meyer. Tell him and mention Over the Line Sports Podcast, and he will hook you up.
So if you fly in from Spain, you can also go to Charlie's Dodge in Maumee, and Ben will hook you up with a good deal. So even if you want to fly all the way from España, he will take care of you.
Yes, he will. So thanks again to Ben, and we're happy to Dodge join the team. So you got an NBA update for us?
None that I want to talk about. The Cavs are bad, and they're going to be bad for the rest of the year. They might not win more than 10 games this year. They are officially tanking. I think they already were. Kevin Love's out. JR, actually, this is kind of semi-breaking news this afternoon I saw, is going to get traded. He is actually not going to play until he gets traded or released or whatever, but I'm sure they're going to try to trade him. Maybe get a second-round pick out of it or something like that. They're not going to get much. Hopefully maybe a young player and a second-round pick, but we'll see what they can get for him. So it sounds like it's going to be a rookie show until Kevin Love gets back. I still do hope he hangs around, but the more and more I get excited is that maybe it's going to be a suck for Zion kind of year. I would love to have him come to Cleveland. I think that would be awesome if he came and ran the show. We'll see how it goes with Duke here the rest of the year as long as he stays healthy, but kid's looking like a stud. We'll get into that a little bit more when we go into college basketball. But I just wanted to give a tiny preview of the Cavs because they are in the cellar. They're going to be there the rest of the year. We probably won't talk a lot of Cavs the rest of the year because they are going to be so bad. LeBron does come to town tomorrow, so that'll be something fun to watch. I'll have my eyes on that. I'm sure he'll get a wonderful ovation even though he went to LA. He still did win a championship, and those Cleveland fans love him no matter what, even though they did burn his jerseys the first time he went to Miami. Anyways, in the East, Toronto's still up top, 13-4. Milwaukee, 12-4, right behind them. Indiana at 11-6, and then Philly at 12-7 with Jimmy Butler. They've won 2 in a row, and I think both on buzzer beaters with him there.
Yep.
He hit one of the buzzer beaters, and he assisted on one. The first one he assisted on.
The second one he
hit.
He basically said screw you to Kemba in his 60-point night.
Yep. And Kemba, I mean, fantastic game. Charlotte's 8-8 down there at the bottom. Boston 9-8. But I thought that Jimmy Butler. I know we talked about it last week a little bit, but him going to Philly obviously raises it. Their NBA Finals odds went up, so that's pretty good for them. And he's making an impact. And right now, by the way, they are 9-0 at home, 3-7 on the road, but 9-0 at home in Philadelphia. It's not going to keep up all year, but if they have kind of like Golden State did, I think last year, a couple years ago, they had like 1 or 2 losses at home, some crazy record like that. That's going to be huge in the playoffs if they get, into the top 4, which I'm sure they will. Like I said, they're sitting 4 right now. There's a lot of season to be played. Anything can happen. But if they keep a home record like that in the playoffs, basketball playoffs, being at home is huge. A lot of the teams with the home court advantage usually win series, especially when you have to go there in 7. Those are the teams that have the advantage, and you kind of saw that. You didn't see it as much last year because Cleveland kind of steamrolled through some of them, but it's kind of tough going up against the best player in the world, But I think that will be huge for them. LeBron's not in the East anymore, so no one has to contend with that. And we'll see how that goes as the season progresses. But it's pretty good. What about your Celtics? What's going on there?
Man, it's tough to watch and see what they're going through, and they're just not clicking, man. Like I said, it was going to be hard for them to click. With Kyrie there, obviously, and you got Hayward, it's just not clicking yet. And it's not like last year when they didn't have those guys and they had to rally around Tatum. And Tatum took the lead and said, this is my team, I'm going to carry you on my back. And he did. And now he's kind of taking a back seat to Kyrie because it's Kyrie's team. And, it's just not clicking yet. And hopefully it does over time. But I think that everybody knows, and here's probably the hangover, honestly. I think people are still believe in their heads last year that Tatum's the man, the leader. Some of those guys, Rozier, Smart, Morris even, and Baines. But it's really Kyrie's team, and they're not rallying behind that yet. And once they do, it may click. Right now they're sitting at, a 7 seed? If it were playoffs were today, 6 or 7?
Yeah, 6 seed right now. I'm sorry, 7 seed. They're tied with Orlando, but like you said, it's so early, it doesn't really matter.
They've got plenty of time to click, and they'll probably finish maybe like a 2, 3, or 4 seed and have some home court. I think Philly's going to get up there. They'll probably be a 1 or 2. Toronto, probably is going to be Toronto, then maybe Philly. I could see Milwaukee being 3, finishing 3, or Boston, and they'll have home court. But if you have somebody like Philly who gets the 2 seed and they have home court, they're going to go all the way to the conference final and play whoever the 4 or the 1 is, if it's Toronto or Boston or Milwaukee. I just don't see anybody beating them at home in a 7-game series.
Right, and I think with Philly getting Jimmy Butler, they probably now, I hate to say it, but I think they're almost more complete than Boston is.
Oh, I agree.
They have. I don't like that they had to lose Covington. I think Covington was great. They had to lose Saric. Those were 2 big losses. But Jimmy Butler can make up for that. Jimmy Butler is going to play 38 minutes a night. He's going to put up those big minutes where Covington and Saric played like 30 minutes a night, more or less. But Covington could go, 35, 40 minutes if need be. He just hasn't needed to a lot. And obviously you saw Minnesota. I think he hit a game winner for the Timberwolves when his first game there, to be honest with you. And I'll get into the West here.
Wait, who's that, Butler?
Covington.
Oh, Covington. Yeah,
Covington. Yeah, because I think they both did. I think
Butler lost in their first game. He came in. They did okay, but it was still that clicking, and they ended up losing the game. But like you said, the buzzer beaters. One he shot against Charlotte, and the other one he assisted on. It's just they're playing tough, and they're starting to click, and it's already kind of transferring over to that's going to be Jimmy's team.
It is.
I mean, we know that.
And I don't want to actually know. I say that it was, but I don't really think it is. To be honest with you, I really do think that it's still going to be Simmons' team. That's why they drafted him. That's why he's there. Him and Embiid, I think, are pretty solid. And people say it's Embiid's team too. I think really they're all non-selfish, and they're all just going to want to play for the team. And Butler said that, but everyone's going to say that coming to a new place, a new city.
And we saw how he did.
But I think that Butler is happy where he's at. I think he gets to play with one of the best centers in the league, and Embiid, obviously Simmons is he can be a triple-double machine if need be. You know, the dude is an absolute monster. He can go 15, 15, 15 any night he wants, I think. So that's obviously great for Philadelphia. I almost wish they would have traded Fultz to Minnesota. I don't know if you've seen his free throw line struggles, but
yes.
My God, that's rough to watch. I don't know if he's just trolling now or what he's doing, but goodness, that's really bad. I feel like I could shoot free throws in the NBA better than he could. The only other question before I got to the Western Conference that I want to throw to you,
mm-hmm.
You know, obviously all of us had Washington making the playoffs in some realm, you know.
Yeah.
Wall and Beal, they saying they're pretty much done. This team is going to break apart. They might actually be worse than Cleveland, which is going to be tough to do. But if Wall and Beal end up getting traded, Washington's going to obviously rebuild this year, and they're also going to go for a number 1 pick and try to get one of these Duke studs who are going to be coming out after this year, I would imagine. If Wall and Beal get traded, where do you think they go? Do they go to the West? Do they stay in the East? I mean, could you see Bradley Beal obviously John Wall won't go to Boston. You got Kyrie. But could you see Beal in Boston as a 2? You kind of take some space away from Tatum there and Brown, but Beal is a stud. And I think that he is going to fit in better in most places than John Wall will, to be honest with you. And I'm not taking away from John Wall. I think John Wall is a great player. I'm just saying that a lot of these teams either have a decent point guard or a young stud who, you know, is going to be up and coming. Like Atlanta, for example. He wouldn't go to Atlanta. They have Trae Young. They need to form him. They need to make him somebody. Cleveland, Colin Sexton, even though these guys are saying he can't play, they want to form him and build him into a leader to be able to play. So maybe the Bulls, but I just don't see John Wall going to a blah team.
Off the cuff, I could kind of see this. You know, Beal, I don't think fits in Boston because I think they're going to ride Tatum at 2 and probably Brown at 3. Beal, I'd have to think about. But John Wall, you know what? I'm going to throw out just kind of a sleeper that probably nobody thinks about. I could see him going to Detroit.
Yeah.
And being with Drummond and you got Blake Griffin down there.
That would be huge for them if they could get him. You know, Reggie Jackson is he's not bad, but he's
and they've got Ish Smith too, but he comes off the bench, so we'll see.
And if you have John Wall, obviously you get rid of one of them and probably a draft pick or 2, but you traded for Blake Griffin, so why not trade for John Wall? Because obviously you're playing to win now, which makes sense. You have a good squad, so
big
in a 5 seed right now. There's no reason why that you wouldn't. So I think that's good. We'll move on to the Western Conference here and try to make us a little bit quicker so we can get into football and whatnot. Since it's just Gary and I today, maybe we'll have a little bit faster show. But
hopefully, but we are calling Brandon.
That is true. We do have to call Dub later. There's a 4-way tie for first in the West as I'm just looking at this right now. So Portland, Memphis, and the Los Angeles Clippers. And I'm in shock right now.
They got, Tobias Harris, man, he's looking good.
But still in the West. I mean, the West is
tough.
So
because you got where are the Lakers at? They're probably up there.
They're 8.
Yeah.
They're all sitting at 11-5. Golden State's at 12-6, which has the same winning percentage. So
they're 12-6 now.
They're 12-6, and they're sitting technically in 4th.
And that could blow up before our eyes with Durant.
I think
Draymond,
it's starting. They've already been a lot of sources saying that Durant's gone after this year, no matter what, no matter if they win. No matter what happens, Durant's gone. He's done. That's what I'm hearing. Now, that doesn't mean that they say, you know what, screw you, Draymond, we're going to trade you, because that's also possible, but it sounds like Durant's out of the building, and I think they want to do that anyway so they can pay Clay and they can pay Steph even more money. That would be my guess. But the shocking 3 teams above them, Portland, Memphis, and LA Clippers, if it was the Lakers up there, I wouldn't be shocked. But the Lakers are only 2 games behind, and they're the 8th seed. Oklahoma City sitting at 5. Westbrook's back; he's okay. So
they started off rough, and look where they're coming back.
Yep, they're going to be fine. Denver sitting in the 6th seed. They're going to hang around that 6th seed all year. Denver is a
tough
squad.
Team. Yeah,
they're a very tough team. They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs when they get there.
Just to give you an update right now, so the Clippers are beating Washington right now in the first quarter with 2 minutes left, 36-18.
Yeah, that's about right. Washington, I think, is checked out now. I think it's going to be time to get them traded out of here. And I'm going to have to look into the Clippers because, I know they got Tobias, but to be honest, they got Boban too, right?
You think Boban's everywhere.
Boban's a monster.
Yes, he is. But they've got, who's their guard? Lou Williams.
Lou Williams, yep. He's still there. Is Austin Rivers still there, or did he move on?
No, he moved on. They got Avery Bradley.
They got rid of Doc Rivers, didn't they? He's not coaching anymore.
I think he is.
Is he?
They have Gortat.
And he's been solid his whole career.
I
think that's another reason why Washington is not doing very well. Gortat was a great center. He was a rock. I mean, that dude's a 15-12 guy most nights.
Yeah, Tobias Harris, just to give you an idea, by the way, I have him in DraftKings tonight. 16 points already, 4 rebounds, first quarter.
Good start for your DraftKings.
It's a good start for DraftKings. I'll have to pull it up, but they got Gallinari too.
Yep.
So
and healthy, which
yes,
is good.
he's healthy.
Last year
very
he
healthy.
wasn't healthy, which did not help them, obviously.
And then for Portland, they have a solid.
They always have. They're always the.
They don't have like a
seed,
big three, but they have a solid three. They got McCollum, they've got Lillard, they got Nurkic.
Yeah,
that's a solid three. And then you've got Evan Turner coming off the bench.
Now,
Paul Harkless there.
If you put Beal there,
oh my God,
McCollum could play the three. He's not quite big enough and long enough, but I think he could.
Yeah,
you could put Beal in Portland. That would be pretty solid. They'd have a really good. They'd probably play more small ball, even though Nurkic's there. But I think Nurkic is still only like 6'9", so that's not really like large. That's not big man. So that's still kind of small. I mean, LeBron's 6'8", and he plays center. So it's pretty much the same exact size there.
Yeah, and they're fun to watch. So
and to round and like I said, to round out, you got the Pelicans at 7, LA at 8. Oklahoma City's 1 game back of first. The Nuggets and Pelicans are 1.5 games back, and LA Lakers are 2 games back. Then behind that, you have the Rockets sitting in the 9th seed right now with Melo gone. I think that's huge. After Melo left, what they do? They blew the shit out of Golden State. Funny enough,
right.
With Steph hurt, but still did. And I think that's obviously going to be big. Melo, it'll be interesting to see where he goes, where he fits in. It doesn't sound like he still wants to come off the bench, which I don't know what place he'll fit into if he goes there. Not having a bench role, he's not Melo of old, so we'll see how that all turns out. Someone's going to pick him up. I mean, he's still decent to where he's not going to just sit around and do nothing. But I mean, that West is pretty tight. Coming down right to Minnesota at 7 and 10. Phoenix is 3 and 13. Like I said, they're going to be in the cellar down there, but right down the line, 8 and 7, 9 and 8, Spurs 8 and 8, Jazz 8 and 9, Dallas 7 and 9, Minnesota 7 and 10. So the West, as always, is going to be coming down to the last day with 5 teams still alive, probably for that A seed. That's how it's going to be. It seems like that's how it is most years in the West. And the East is normally taken care of 2 weeks before the season, or 2 weeks before the playoffs start.
And I just looked. I only have Tobias in one of my lineups, so it kind of sucks. I have another guy in his spot. I'm playing the tiers, and but right now it's almost the end of the first quarter. It's 40-21. Tobias has 18 points, so pretty nuts to see. And what he's doing, it just ended the first quarter. That's just incredible. So let's move on. Let's go to college basketball. What do you got for us?
I mean, Duke. Studley went up to 1. They're just destroying everyone and everything. I think I saw, I don't know if it was last night or 2 nights ago, but Zion on the break did the windmill. Oh my goodness, with his left. It's unbelievable. They're just blowing people out, so they're just going to keep rolling. I almost went biscuit there, rolling. And I honestly think that, they're, like I said, we picked them at the beginning of the year to win the championship. If they all stay healthy, they might go undefeated.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put that past them right now. So, like I said, it's pretty much we're going to just be repeating ourselves with Duke the whole year until maybe they get some surprise loss or something along those lines, and we'll get to there when we get to there. Kansas, Gonzaga, Virginia, Tennessee, Nevada, North Carolina, Auburn, Michigan at 9, Kentucky at 10 rounds out the top 10. Michigan State sitting at 11 with their only loss coming to Kansas, right? Or was it Duke?
They lost to Kansas.
Correct.
Yes.
Because Kentucky lost to Duke. Kentucky got
destroyed. But and Michigan State just won. They played nobody, but they won like 101-36, something stupid.
And Ohio State cracked into the top 25.
They should.
They've had 2 great.
Did you see they beat what, Gonzaga?
No. They beat Cincinnati the first game of the year
Yeah.
on the road at Cincinnati. Yep. Cincinnati's a tough team. They beat who else? Who they just beat on the road too?
What?
They just had a huge road win that they were up big, blew it, and then ended up coming back and winning here. And I'm going to try to look. We have no stat guide today.
Yeah. And
Creighton. They beat
Creighton,
which is they've been a great mid-major for years and years and years. And
they're losing right now. I can tell you that.
Yeah, they're playing a nobody, so they'll end up coming back.
Well, 5-0 Samford.
They're 5-0.
Samford is, yes.
I still think
that's
nobody.
Samford. not Stanford.
Yes. And then last night or 2 nights ago, they played South Carolina State and beat the crap out of them. And that was in St. John's Arena.
Well, they have Sanford has Eddie Guerrero's cousin Ruben Guerrero.
I would assume you're making that up, but I'm gonna roll with that there. So maybe hopefully it doesn't give me a frog splash tonight. So hopefully they can pull out Sanford. They play Cleveland State next, and then Syracuse at home in Ohio State, so that'll be a big game.
Well, this gives you an idea. So Sanford beat North Alabama by 17. They beat JSU, whoever the hell that is. Yeah. Jacksonville State, probably. Yep, it is. Jacksonville State, you know what their mascot is?
The Jackhammer.
Think of South Carolina.
Gamecock.
Yes. And they beat Kennesaw State, which is near Atlanta.
I was about to say, we send samples there for what we work for.
And then they beat Miles.
Interesting.
The pizza place, probably.
Maybe.
And then Cleveland State, who Ohio State has next.
So, yeah, poor Sanford, I think, might get beat up a little bit here. But, yeah, give them a little quick.
32-29, 2 minutes left in the first half.
Okay, yeah, let them have the first half. That'll be okay. But, yeah, just looking at Ohio State's schedule, it looks like they have a couple other teams here. Cleveland State, Syracuse, and then they go and play, it looks like, some Big Ten teams. So we'll be getting into that soon. We do have UCLA a couple days before Christmas. That'll be fun. And then they get into the Big Ten, which is going to be really tough this year. Obviously, Wisconsin, Iowa, Purdue, Michigan State. You got a lot of good teams in the Big Ten this year. So it'll be a tough test. If they can go through the Big Ten at 15-5 or something like that, I think they'll be pretty darn solid. So it's good for the Buckeyes. Happy to see them doing well right now. And they'll keep it up. Also, it looks like Auburn plays Duke tonight at 8 o'clock. Auburn is the 8th seed or 8th
we'll see how
team
that goes.
Country. So we'll see if they get blown out or not by Duke, which I have a sneaking suspicion they will. But like I said, still early in all these basketball years, so it'll be fun. Also, Arizona plays Gonzaga tonight, so that'll be a good one. Arizona's 4-0, but not ranked. Gonzaga's ranked 3 at 4-0. But I'm pretty excited for I would be excited for that game if I would actually stay up late enough to watch it, but I'm way too old for that. So we can probably move on to the NHL. Obviously, college basketball we'll get into a lot more here as we go. It's going to be a really good year. I think outside of Duke, there's going to be a lot of parity and there's going to be a lot of movement. So we'll see how it goes this year. But let's do a little bit of NHL because it's another thing I haven't watched much of lately.
Yeah, well, the Penguins, I can tell you, just lost again in overtime. So they're 7, 8, and 4.
Yikes.
4 overtime losses. So that hurts.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. So even just in the Metropolitan Division, in the division, not the conference, they are last.
Yes.
That kind of sucks. So
they're last in the conference, actually.
Yeah.
They're tied with New Jersey for last right now. I'm looking.
They're all pretty close, And
they are.
The good thing about hockey,
and that's the thing, they're only 6 points behind Columbus, who's in first in the Metropolitan. And they're only 12 points behind Toronto, who's leading the whole East right now. So
6 wins. I mean, you're a quarter of the way through the season, so I mean, we'll see. And Toronto has 2 more games played than Pittsburgh does. But if we look back at our picks, I had San Jose over Tampa. So San Jose is where are they sitting at? San Jose is second in the Pacific, and they are sitting with 25 points, so looking pretty good. And then Toronto, like we said, they're first. And then you had Toronto over, I think, Nashville. Or no, you had Nashville over Toronto. And Nashville.
Yes, I had Nashville in 6 over Toronto. Brandon had Nashville in 6 over Pittsburgh. You had San Jose in 6 over Tampa, and Nick had Toronto in 5 over Anaheim. Right now, Toronto is leading the East, so Nick's looking good there. Let's look up Anaheim. They're sitting fourth in the Pacific, but
yeah,
they're all pretty tough. I mean, they're only 4 points behind Calgary in first, so there's still a lot of season left. Anything can happen, but realistically, all our picks are not looking too shabby at all. So
no, and you can see except Brandon's Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there's a shock. Brandon not getting something right.
Yeah, except for college football, he does pretty well there.
Yeah, but I guess Clemson over Georgia can still happen.
Yeah, that can. We'll see.
And Alabama over Clemson can happen. I don't think Ohio State's going to beat Alabama, but technically it can still happen. We'll talk about that when we get to college football because I have a wonderful scenario I can throw down. I don't want to happen, but might.
Yeah, and I do want to hear it. So let's move into NASCAR. So
vroom, vroom.
Championship weekend at Miami. The cool thing was with the Truck Series and Xfinity Series and the Cup Series, 3 first-time winners for championships. Really cool.
Good.
Junior Motorsports won another Xfinity title, which is awesome.
Very nice.
And the guy that won the Truck Series, can't think of his name right now, but he had the old-school mustache. Awesome. You got to check that out.
He had the nice
Jeff Gordon mustache.
Nice November.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was nice, but it looked all right. So the race was pretty interesting. Kyle Busch, who was my pick, was never really in it. He took a gamble towards the end. He did not have a good car, but he took a gamble towards the end and just stayed out. And then a caution came out, which allowed him to pit, and he came out first. But I knew he was going to get blown by. And Truex and Logano were there. I was waiting for Truex to take Logano out. He never did. Never really had the opportunity. Logano came on strong at the end. It looked like Harvick's race. Harvick would have won that if that caution didn't happen, because Kyle Busch would have had to pit, and he wouldn't have been there. And it was Harvick's race to lose. I mean, Harvick dominated it. He should have won it, and then Logano came on strong at the end and just blew by, and you weren't catching him.
Okay.
And it was cool to see. Logano we gave to Jake, so Jake technically asterisk wins the title.
Right.
But like we said, if our guys didn't win, we weren't going to count it. And so none of our guys won. So nobody, 3 of 4, and nobody won the title.
Did we update final standings there? Or
no, but it's because how many points were you ahead of Brandon?
I was, what is that, 18 or something?
Oh, you definitely got it. They finished top 4.
Harvick did.
Yeah, oh, they were all top 4.
I did win the final DraftKings NASCAR. So. Whew.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. The last one of the year.
Awesome.
I didn't do shit for the last 8 weeks and finally won one of the last one of the year. I told Cody, I said, thanks for not playing this week because, I appreciate it. I was at the Lions game Sunday, so I didn't even look. Didn't look at my NFL lineup. Didn't look at anything. Everything I put in on Friday night is what I kept. By the way, I was drinking Friday night, so it's good for me.
Yeah, our guys were 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Okay.
This is where they finished.
And, that's nice. And so they went 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Jesus. So the top 4 guys who could have won finished 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and that typically does happen unless there's a wreck. They people back off. Larson was up there for a while, and then he just kind of dropped back. He had a chance.
If I was a guy like Larson or like someone who was out of it, Chasers, I'd try to wreck some motherfuckers. Yeah. I would. Well, just for fun. Let's mix it up a little bit. Who's gonna pay me not to wreck them? Right? Let's do it.
So NASCAR's done for us for the year. I won that title, so just add that to that other title I have in golf, and then you won even though your guy didn't win, and that's what we got to figure out.
Listen, it's funny because you won NASCAR season, you won golf season.
Right.
Technically, who finished, what was it? So Logano, who finished in the championship standings? How did it go? Logano.
Truex.
Because
it's however they finished.
Harvick, Busch.
Yep.
Okay, so I beat you technically in the championship.
Technically.
In golf, I beat you in the championship. in baseball, you did get me. You had the Red Sox over the Dodgers.
You can just hand me titles. I've been right, all the way through with most of these things.
Was dominating wrestling, but
that's not updated. I have the updated list when we do the wrestling show Saturday. I actually took a 1-match lead over the weekend because I was 6-2 and you were 4-4. But we'll get into that.
In college football, Brandon is beating the living piss out of us. But we're gonna.
My goal is to try to beat you.
We're gonna do all bowl games. So every spread on the bowl game. We're going to do our own bowl game thing, but we're going to pick spreads of all those bowl games.
Really? I love it.
Absolutely.
I freaking love it. You know what that show...
I will let Brandon decide. If he doesn't want to, if he wants regular season, we do like a bowl game thing, that's fine. Or if he just wants to add it all in, whatever he wants to do, we'll let him choose since he's leading.
Well, guess what? We have to call him here soon after our little break with our sponsors. But before we get into that, so Justin on the Twitter, we're going to have to wait till next week. Had some things going on at work. And he's not going to be he could not and did not have time to get to the Twitter this week. So we won't see him for wrestling or for sports. So, and that's okay. Because then we can get the show done faster. So thank you, Justin. Thank you, of course, to the supporters of the show. All Wear Clothing, the original gangster sponsor of the show. OG. Crandall's Quality Lawn Care. Verizon. PNC. Wes Anderson for Moments in Time. And now our new one. Dodge. Thank you. So is that 5? Yeah. 5 now? That's nuts. Thank you to the 5 supporters who support the show. And guess what? After this quick little break where I just hit stop on this, and we're going to come back and we're going to have Brandon on the phone. So be ready for that. So we are back here with Brandon. Brandon wanted to give his thoughts on NASCAR. So we'll let him do that before we get into college football. So Brandon, go ahead. Tell us what your thoughts are on the race.
Hi, by the way. No, I just like I was saying, I just watched the last 14 laps of it after they came back. It was a caution, correct?
Yes, that's where
Yeah.
Kyle Busch had a chance to. He came out in first and he took a gamble by sitting back there, but then he ended up getting up there, but it was kind of a struggle for him. He had a bad car, and then Logano and Truex went by him and Harvick, so he was done for.
I saw your text. I turned it on, and they were coming out, and I mean, it was great. I mean, last 14 laps, I can't believe Martin Truex had it. I thought I was going to win.
Well, Harvick had it too. Harvick really should have won that race.
Yeah, and it's just like, and then Kyle, started dropping back, and Harvick started dropping back, and Harvick was out of the picture. And then all of a sudden, Kyle Busch is 3 seconds behind. And then for some reason, Truex goes high. I don't know why. And Joey Logano catches him and goes low, and then ends up passing him and really never looking back. So, for Logano.
Do you think they should switch tracks from Miami to be the final?
I don't know. I like Miami. What do you think they should change it to?
Just something that's not that boring. I mean, it gets boring towards the end if somebody starts pulling away and they're in the lead pack. I would love to say Daytona or Talladega, but that would
awesome
never happen. That would be great.
That would be big. If they could do Talladega, if they could do Talladega, 3 or no, they do it twice. If they could do Daytona or Talladega 3 times, I mean, good Lord, that'd be awesome.
Or just do it twice and move it to the playoff. I mean, I'd like to see Atlanta. Atlanta's a fun track to be at, one of the fast tracks. Always competition there. That'd be fun.
But that could be boring though too.
But there's always competition.
They used to do that towards the end of the year too, and then of course they changed them all, their schedule. So,
there's changes coming in 2020 with the new president in there. He wants to make some significant changes. It'll be interesting to see what he comes back with. I don't know what he wants to do, but he said everything is on the table, and that's huge because they need to change something. They don't really have a face anymore. Last year, the attendance was down 10% from the year before. This year, it's down 14% over last year. So not looking good for them.
Yeah.
They lose Monster as a sponsor after this year.
Ooh.
So it's going to be interesting to see what
Monster girls.
Yeah.
No.
So they're going to come by and have,
What's the whole point of watching NASCAR?
They're going to have, they have the Sprint girls, the Monster girls. Now they're going to have the Hillsbury Doughboy girls or something.
Oh, yeah. That'll get
Hooters. Hooters should just sponsor.
They used to be in NASCAR with Kawicki.
And
they still are. They still are
with Chase. With Chase, they're
Chase
usually Chase Elliott.
But can you imagine the Hooters Cup Series? It would be awesome.
Yeah, I know where you would be every week. Well, Sunday it's Hooters Day. I can go watch NASCAR. Get wings.
Hooters Day. Got to get my sweatpants and get some wings. Just got to be careful not to touch my dinghy with the hot sauce. No, you'd be all right, Brandon.
Yeah,
so
who knows who will take over? I mean, I thought of Goofy Monster Energy drink, so bought it.
Why?
But I don't know, Monster. I don't know. It's probably because I hate energy drinks.
Do you drink coffee?
They should just let they should just let where they made their mistake.
Winston Cup Series.
So
it wouldn't be. It wouldn't.
Yeah.
Maxwell House Winston Cup. So they bring back Winston. No, they should have they should have Marlboro come back or Budweiser or something.
Budweiser.
Yeah, I'd be interested with it. So what do you think, Brandon? What else you got there?
That's all I got. Good for Logano. He gets his first career championship. Like I said, he just drove away by Truex. And I thought with their rivalry, well, not rivalry, their little scuffle they had last week, and then at the press conference, I think Truex said, I won't make a move like that unless it's on number 22. And then Logano passed him, and Truex didn't do anything. I thought there for a second that maybe Truex let him go so that he could catch up to him and then take him out, but obviously that didn't happen.
No, he's just a little bitch.
Before you got on the phone, I was talking to Gary, which you'll listen when you hear this back. I said if I was one of the guys who wasn't in it, like Chase or someone like that, Hamlin, I just would have wrecked somebody.
Yeah.
Whoever was in the top four, just wreck someone. Just for fun.
It would be interesting. Why not?
How awesome would that be?
You could just wreck them and
you
call
piss off 20 people.
Wreck them all.
Yeah,
who cares?
I don't know. That would be crazy. But yeah, I mean, good. Like I said, good for Logano. So we'll only 2 more months, and then we got the Daytona 500 coming up.
It's 3 months. You know what I count?
Oh, yeah, it's 3.
Yeah, you cob now.
Yeah, whatever.
It's all right, Brandon. So let's go into college football, buddy. First game, we got Auburn at number 1 Alabama.
The Iron Bowl.
24-point favorite for Alabama. What do we think?
We're not going to do the recap? You're going to do the recap here.
Oh, sorry. Well, fine. I'll give you that at least. So, Brandon, you are in the lead. Congratulations. I am happy for you.
All right, we're done. No more.
Yeah. You are very welcome.
I'm gonna win. You guys are catching. Let's go. All right, Auburn, Alabama.
Oh no, hold on
a second there,
because
girl, you want to talk about it.
Yeah, we want to bring up something to you about how we're thinking about doing things. Barry, you want to tell them what you're thinking?
All right, so you have an 11-game lead on me right now. All right, so we came up with: do you want to do the college bowl game spread in the regular season, or do you want to say regular season's over after next week? Next week after all
the week after, because you got Army Navy on the 8th.
That one too, but I mean that's one game. If he's up by 10, still doesn't matter.
We'll make it a 10-point game.
So, do you want to put all the college bowl games into this overall, or do you want to separate that out? I'm letting you. Are we gonna pick all 47 bowl games?
Well, we're doing that whole show. We're not going to update anything. It's going to be football specific. We're going to do our NFL picks first, actually, and then we're going to go into college. We're going to do. I'm thinking we're going to do a bracket or a pick'em. Where we all pick just the games on a pick'em for our ESPN, and then we're going to all pick the spreads. So we'll go back. We may do it all at once, or we're just going to do it separate. It'd probably be easier to do it separate, so we don't screw things up and do that. So we can do the spread in the regular season if you would like, but that's up to you.
And also the spread we can do weekly. Obviously we'll make all our bowl picks as we, at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the bowl season. But we can do all of our spreads weekly for each show. So, obviously we'll just figure out when we're doing the show that week, whether it's Tuesday or Wednesday, and then do that week's or 6 days worth of spread, and we'll just pick the spread, whatever it is, when the show starts.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We could just do the whole thing because it's going to be a college football show, really. So we might as well just get it done.
I'm just saying all the spreads might not be out,
That's very true. We'll have to see.
How much do they change in 3 weeks?
Not a lot unless they get the kids
Somebody
who obviously aren't playing because of, going to the NFL or whatever the case is.
Or suspended or whatever reason.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll see.
It doesn't really matter to me if you want to start over. I mean, it's fine if you want to keep on going.
Well, we're going to say we want to keep. Well, we might catch you in the bowl. There's 40. You say 47 games?
I don't think it's 47. I think it's like 36. But yeah,
I was just kidding.
I mean, there's
okay.
There's still a good amount. I'm not saying.
Then we'll keep it in the regular season. He's good with it. So we're going to do that because basically for us, there's not like there's a playoff. There's that, which is a separate entity, and sorry, Brandon, I'm pointing at the boards. That's a separate thing.
And we'll already have our bowl game picks out there anyways.
Yep. So
hold on, we're a tripod, podcast with 3. So what's
that used to be my nickname in high school, tripod.
Yeah, you guys want? I didn't hear you.
I said that used to be my nickname in high school, tripod.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, Brandon. You know what his name used to be in high school? Adam's sister called him this. You remember what Adam's sister called you, Brandon?
Yes, I remember.
What is it?
I'm not going to say it.
All right, fine, I'll say it. 2-liter. She had a she had a dream that it wasn't necessarily the size of a 2-liter, but it was the shape of a 2-liter. So,
I thought Brandon's nickname in high school was always Dick Tournament.
Well, that was his porn star name.
I just want to bring that up.
Yeah, we'll
was
just
the
throw
best
that.
one.
Yeah, Dick Tournament wins.
Yeah, how does it go? The street that you grew up on.
And your middle name.
Yeah. Well, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, Richard, your name is Dick Tournament. And then we just all lost it.
Sounds like it could be a movie.
It could be. Starring Dick Tournament.
Dick Tournament in Dick Tournament. 47.
It's a self-pleasure sequel.
I'm sure you guys are podcast going on.
2-liter, a Dick Tournament story. It might just be called 2-liter, a feature starring Dick Tournament.
People are not going to listen to this show.
Oh gosh, that's fantastic. But you're saying, back to what you said about we're a tripod, so what now? Yeah, Mr. Fuji. What were you saying about the dick? Not the dick tournament. The tripod. What are you saying, Brandon?
Say just like how we pick the NFL. What's everybody's opinion? You guys want to keep on going? You want to start over?
No, we should keep going. We should keep going with that because I think
keep on going.
I think in NFL we should probably do the same thing through the playoffs. Our picks.
Yeah, we'll keep them like you said. We'll do it overall, but we'll keep the play. The playoffs are different in the NFL because it's not single games. It's you have to pick a team in the NFL. We already have our Super Bowl picks, so we're still going to pick.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be much of a difference there, but we'll find something with a tournament on that.
A dick tournament. So, Brandon, all right, let's go back to that. Auburn at Alabama, 24-point favorite for Alabama.
Yeah, Nick Saban can stand up there during his press conference and say they're not thinking revenge. They're thinking revenge. They're going to win 52-10.
Ooh.
Fair?
Yeah, Auburn can't run the ball. That's what they do. They run the ball. They can't run the ball.
Yeah, Auburn is not good, and I agree. If this wasn't Auburn, yeah, maybe they hold it within 24, but I don't think so. I think Bama's going to blow them out. The only thing that worries me is that maybe they're looking ahead to Georgia. The only thing, but I don't think they are because I think they're a well-coached team with Nick Saban. That's got to be what they look away from. They can't be looking at the SEC championship game next week. They need to look at Auburn this week because even though Auburn hasn't been great this year, they did beat Washington in the beginning of the year. They can still slightly pull an upset or at least scare them a little bit. But I think you're right, Brandon. I think Alabama does end up blowing them out of this game. Even though they were tied with the Citadel at halftime last week.
Which was interesting, to say the least.
I didn't see any highlights of that. I don't even know what happened. So, I think they were just playing patty cake with them or something. And then,
the Citadel had an opportunity to go up 13-10 with 10 minutes left in the third quarter and missed a field goal.
Hold on, Brandon. Just so I can feel like you're here, I'm going to actually put you on your mic. So give me a second.
Is this really going to happen?
Yeah, put him against his mic.
Should we put the headphones on him?
Put the headphones on the phone?
Yeah.
Hold on, Brandon. We're going to put you on your mic.
Oh God. Oh. All right. Go ahead, Brandon. Say something. I don't even think this mic's on. Did you say roll tide?
Yeah.
That was dumb.
Well, I think if you pull him over here, it still might work because it should be. It's plugged in.
It could. We'll find out. Screw it. We're just gonna move it. I just don't want a different echo.
Yeah, it's just tough because my mic is picking up his sound and mine, so it's kind of differentiating.
All right, Brandon, go ahead. Say something.
what do you want to say?
That
Perfect. You are on your. We need to take a picture for you. You are literally on your mic, so that you, because instead of you being on mine, you're on your own. So that works out for us. I as well am going to take Alabama. I think that they're going to keep rolling. Roll Tide. South Carolina at number 2, Clemson, 26.5.
South Carolina's been playing decent ball, so I'm actually going to take South Carolina here. This game's been a lot closer the last couple of years, so I think South Carolina probably loses by 17 in this game. Clemson will win, but I think South Carolina keeps it a little bit closer.
All right, Brandon.
I think we're talking. I don't know what you guys were watching the playoffs. I was heard on the radio coming in. A lot of people are thinking Clemson loses. I mean, they're not. They won't drop two spots and get that forward. They'll drop out.
If Georgia wins, I don't know. I don't believe it.
Because they're still going to be in their. I don't believe that. They're still going to be in their conference title game.
If they win their title and Georgia loses, I mean, or Clemson's in.
They're not going to lose, though, so let's not even talk about hypotheticals. Brandon, the next one, the important one for you, number 3, Notre Dame at number nothing, USC, 10.5.
I'm so glad they're down. I did not see them. I did not think that they were going to lose to UCLA.
Oh, God, yeah, that was bad.
They lost to them?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah,
Now they're 5-0.
They need to win to get a bowl game.
They're fighting for, their head coach is fighting to get fired.
Yeah, Clay Helton's done.
Yeah, so, but I'm going to think Notre Dame covers 34 or 21.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit more than that. I think Notre Dame is going to probably win like 45-17, probably. It's going to be ugly. I wouldn't be surprised if USC scores first and maybe stops Notre Dame. Looks a little bit scary in the first 8 minutes of the game, but I think Notre Dame rolls after that. I think Notre Dame's going to win big.
All right, so I have Notre Dame as well. I think they're going to win big. They're looking tough. I mean, they just showed us what they're all about, beating Syracuse 36-3.
You might as well just skip that. Well, that'll be the last one that we do, by the way.
Which one?
Ohio State, Michigan.
Okay, we'll skip it. So we'll come back to that one. All right, let's go to the next one then. Georgia Tech at number 5, Georgia, 17-point favorite for Georgia.
Well, I'm going to take Georgia Tech here. They're going to stay within Georgia. Those are 17 points. Unless Georgia wins, though, they're going to win 30-14.
Yeesh.
Just close.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that Georgia's going to beat them up. I do. I think Georgia Tech, I don't know what they just did. They just played someone pretty well, I think, but ended up losing. This is in Georgia, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Georgia's going to roll. Like they said.
Well, it would probably be in Georgia either way since Georgia Tech's from Georgia.
Touche, sir. Touche. I meant in Athens, Georgia.
Yeah. Thank you.
But I
appreciate it.
I think this is kind of like a not in a sense, but this is kind of like an Ohio State Michigan sort of thing where Georgia doesn't need to be looking ahead. Like last week, more or less. Georgia doesn't need to be looking ahead because there's no pressure on them. They know that they're going to be underdogs to Bama. They know that. I mean, they don't know, but everyone else in the country knows that they're not going to beat Bama, more or less. So there's no pressure on Georgia, to look ahead to Alabama, especially since they're already in the title game. It's not like they need to win, but they do need to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. They need to win 2 in a row here. I think they blow out Georgia Tech and set up an epic showdown in last year's national championship and the SEC title game next week.
I am also going to go with Georgia. I think they roll. I think they win by 4 touchdowns. Honestly, I think they, like you said, they're fighting for a playoff spot. They can't hold anything back here. They're going to come out. They're going to win. They're going to win big. Next, number 6, Oklahoma at I believe 11. I don't know because I put these in today. 13 West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia's 13.
Interesting. All right, so it's only 1.5. So Brandon, what do you got for us?
This might be another game just like with Oklahoma State. This is going to be a high-scoring game. I think it'll be the same score, 45-41. It's going to be close. 1-1, win and a half. That's good. That's a toss-up right there. That's West Virginia's home, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, what I want to say. I think West Virginia out of the Big 12.
No, no, I think they can just. I think they're going to play them regardless because they have 1 loss in the Big 12 and Texas has 2.
No, West Virginia has 2 losses.
They have 2 losses.
Yeah, they lost to Iowa.
Oh, you're right. So if they lose and Texas wins, then Texas is in against Oklahoma. Just put that out for you.
Give me West Virginia. I'm not even going to give a score. It's going to be high, 50-48 West Virginia.
Really? Oh, West Virginia's straight up. Wow. I don't think as much as it's needed. And then Brandon, I told Gary I'm going to get into my Ohio State potential playoff, which I don't think is going to happen, but just a fun scenario just in case because this is entertainment. This is a podcast, and we're going to do that. But Oklahoma obviously has to lose one of the next 2 games for this. I don't think they lose this week. I think they beat West Virginia. You're right. Definitely going to be high scoring. It is the Big 12. They don't play defense there. So I'm going to go Oklahoma 42-35.
Well, and I hold on here, not to cut you off, but just with the Big 12 in general, until they start playing defense, I don't think they deserve to get to the Final Four because they can give up 42 points a game and start to be one of the best teams in the nation. So,
I mean, the Rams do it in the NFL.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is true. I saw the NFL Network had a game going on today when I got home, so I got to watch like the third quarter, third and fourth quarter. But wow, I mean, I definitely wish the game was good.
Yeah, but you got to see it. So you didn't really miss it.
So, but yeah, so that's just my defense. I mean, they told them to start here.
Well, I'm going with Oklahoma, and here's why. I think they win by, they don't play defense like you said. They win by 7 or 10. I agree with Bear. They want that rematch with Texas. Texas plays Kansas, who just got Les Miles, but they don't have him yet. Texas is gonna win, and we're gonna see Oklahoma beat up West Virginia because they want that redemption. They lost at home to Texas by 3. So they wanted that redemption against them in the Big 12 title game. I think they win this week and go on to play Texas in the Big 12 title game. So give me Oklahoma. They're going to win by more than 1.5. I think they win by 7 or 10. All right, next, 7 LSU at Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a 2.5-point favorite.
Brandon?
Give me LSU. LSU by 2.
Ooh. I'm going to have to take LSU as well.
Yeah, they're given 2.5 points. They start with the lead.
And who? I'm sorry, who are they playing at?
A&M.
Texas A&M, huh?
Yep.
Okay, you have it on. I was confused.
I know because the standings switch, so I have to move this around.
Okay. Yeah. You got me a little bit on that one. Yeah. So LSU, I do think that they end up beating Texas A&M, and you said it would. Texas A&M is 2.5, or LSU is 2.5.
Texas A&M's 2.5-point favorite.
Oh yeah, LSU is going to win this game outright. So no doubt about that. I think that also it's Texas A&M has no shot for the playoff. LSU still has a very, 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 very slight outside chance to make the playoff. They need Notre Dame, Michigan, Georgia, and Oklahoma to all lose, but they're still there. They are not out of it by any means. And I do think, and I know this, Brian, you're not gonna be happy about this, but I do think a 10-2 LSU team with no bowl, no SEC championship game does jump a 11-1 Notre Dame team with a loss to USC. Like I said, don't think it's going to happen, but I'm just saying I think that because of the SEC bias, it's going to happen.
Oh no, I totally agree. No, they sure don't. You can lose to a 5-6 team, whether it's your rival or not. At week 12, you're expected to get
True. Yeah, I think I agree with you there. I'm just saying they still do have a chance, so I think that they do beat Texas A&M outright.
All right. So, anything else you want to say about that, Brandon?
No, I just go trouble there at the time.
All right, next, number 18, Washington at number 8, Washington State. Washington State is a 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah, did you guys watch that game last week against Arizona?
Yeah, where we all took Arizona and we were wrong, bad.
They scored 55 points in the first half. Unbelievable. Washington State's played a lot better than what I thought they would play. I thought the ratings here would be reversed. Washington beat up there. I think I picked them as one of my finals at the beginning of the year, but they fell off the map. Washington State, they're fun on here. They're going to win. I think you said last week that they lost. They got a crappy out of points these last couple times.
Yeah, but Washington. Yeah, Washington beat them up.
Yeah, they're going to win by 17.
Wow. This is in Washington, right?
Yeah, they're going to Washington State.
Wow. Oh man. And did I pick Washington State last week? Or we picked Arizona.
We all picked Arizona.
And I've been just wrong on Washington State every single game of the year. And I mean, at the beginning of the year, I picked Washington to beat them. Obviously, I'm subjected to change my mind, and I have the right to do that. I'm not going to. I'm going to take Washington in the upset. Washington has their number. They have had their number. They're pretty much the same teams as last year, so Why not? Why can't they beat them? So give me Washington on the road. Big upset.
I have Washington as well winning. They have 3 losses this year, and unfortunately, they were pretty much all on the road. But they played them close. So they lost to Auburn opening game. It was in Atlanta, but that's a home game for Auburn by 5. They lost to Oregon at Oregon by 3, and then they lost to Cal, and they blew that game against Oregon. And then they lost to Cal 12-10 at Cal. Yep. So give me Washington as well. Next, Brandon, you ready for this one? Another undefeated team. Number 9, UCF at USF, South Florida, 14. By the way, South Florida started off 7-0. They've lost 4 in a row.
Ugh. Yeah. Not so good for Charlie Strong there.
Yeah, I thought this game, both these teams were getting undefeated. South Florida was kind of on a roll there, like you said, starting 7-0. So this game was looking to be like one, undefeated versus undefeated, but they got blown up by Houston, and then everything, the wheels fell off. So I'm not even gonna. Well, you know what? I'm not even gonna touch what the quarterback said for UCF. They can talk all they want about Pittsburgh and how they won by 5 and they blew them out 42-10. UCF will not be Notre Dame. They cannot be Notre Dame. Sorry. Notre Dame is better. I don't usually say that much, but Notre Dame is better.
You just said you weren't going to touch it. You just said you weren't going to touch it.
Well, I'm not touching. No, I just do it. This kid comes out and says, "Oh, we're good at the Notre Dame." Yeah, okay, whatever. We'll play somebody in the company better than Notre Dame.
Why don't you guys schedule them then and settle it? Or why don't you schedule them, or they just not good enough? Ball State's probably better than them, right? Okay, do that. You let me know how that. Write a letter. Write a heartfelt letter. I said heartfelt, not harsh. Jeez. Okay. Anyways, so who's your pick there, Guy Blow? You knob. Yeah, UCF big.
Same UCF big. Rutgers at Michigan State. Michigan State 27-point favorite.
Has Michigan State won by 27 in any game this year?
Yeah.
Michigan State wins by 13.
I'm taking Rutgers as well.
Ugh.
They just started Lombardi. He went 17 of 41.
God. And Rutgers hasn't been playing too terribly bad, but I'm going to go Michigan State because I think I've nailed them the last couple weeks. So
Nice. Next, this is a fun one. Florida at Florida State. Florida State is only a 5-point dog.
don't know why.
Are you missing a 2 or 3 there? I mean, Florida's up to wall now. They're going to have that guy over reading books. They're reading another book. He's trying to pass out.
Yeah, who Florida State just upset Boston College, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen again. I think that was the high of Florida State's season. But if they did beat Florida, I think that would be fantastic. I would love to see them beat Florida because the only team I hate more than Florida State and Michigan is Florida. So, and that's saying something, Brandon. Notre Dame's even behind them. So give me Florida though by like 14 on this one.
Yeah, give me Florida by 100. We're good to go there. All right, next we've got this I put here just for fun. It's a fun game. Utah State, who is sitting at 10-1, is at a 9-2 Boise State. Boise State is a 2.5-point favorite.
So it's 21 versus 23. Utah State's 21, Boise State 23.
Right, and Utah State's only loss is to Michigan State at the beginning of the year. That's
Barely.
it. Barely. And they could easily be 11-0. And then Boise, they both won several games in a row. Obviously Utah State has come off and won 10 in a row. Boise, I think, has won like 5 or 6 in a row. I can't remember. I have to look who they lost to. Oklahoma State, they got destroyed, and then San Diego State, they lost by 6. So they beat Nevada, Colorado State, Air Force, BYU, Fresno, and then New Mexico last week. So Utah State at Boise State, 2.5 points. Brandon.
Yeah, this is going to be a good game for the last. Utah State. Yeah, you said they're 10-1.
Yep.
One loss, yeah, to Michigan State. They should have won that game, but that's what I'm talking. So don't even really give me
like Utah State by 3. It's going to be a very close game. It's going to be a good game. Utah State, game-winning field goal in Boise State. Tough environment to play in, as we've seen over the years with teams going in, playing on the blue turf. I think Utah State is up to the challenge. I think they solidify a solid spot there. Probably getting a January 1 game if they win this. This has Capital One Bowl written all over it. They definitely get a New Year's Day game, I'm pretty sure, if they win this, and it would be well-deserved. I do think so.
And even if they don't, you know what I think they would like? A rematch against Michigan State. That would be pretty interesting to see them now play each other.
Yeah, what's Michigan State's record?
Oh, God.
Make a bowl game?
Yeah, they'll make. They're 6-4, I think.
6-5?
6-5.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
Saying there, they can't because they have to be in the top 12 and they have to be, I think, only one out of if you're not the Power 5, they only accept 1 or something. And UCF obviously would be up there because they're.
No. You're mistaken me, Brian. I'm talking the January 1 games, like the Capital One Bowl and
not the New Year's 6.
No, the Cotton Bowl. Those are still January 1 games, but they're still big games that everyone's watching because you're all hungover anyways from the night before. So that's all There'll be that like 11 a.m. Cotton Bowl or Capital One, one of those games. No, not the New Year's 6, not there. But I do think they're going to be on a big stage if they win this game, playing probably like an SEC school, maybe like a Kentucky, something like that, something to get their name out there. And I think that would be pretty cool if they do. So I hope Utah State. I think it would. I think I like seeing these Mountain West teams, who've had a very, very good record in bowl games over the years. I mean, look at Boise State and look at these other teams. They've played well when they've been up to the task. So we'll see.
All right. Mississippi State at Ole Miss, 10.5-point dog for Ole Miss.
What do they call it? Ed Bowl or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeesh. I don't know. What's Ole Miss's record? I don't know the record. Give me.
Not good.
Yeah. Give me Mississippi State. Oh.
Mississippi State, I can tell you, is 7-4.
Yeah, they're 18.
Yeah, they're sitting at 18.
And they've lost to Alabama. They've lost to good teams.
And Ole Miss has lost 4 in a row. They lost to, and what's their record sitting at? They're 5-6. They need this to get a bowl game, but they lost to Vandy, A&M, South Carolina, and Auburn the last 4 weeks. So they were 5-2.
Yeah, I think give me Mississippi State. They still, I'm pretty sure, have, if not the best, top 5 defense in the country. They only gave up like 28 to Alabama, which is pretty solid. 24, yeah. I mean, though Alabama beat the crap out of them, they still shut them down offensively. They're going to do that to Ole Miss. I would go here probably Mississippi State like 24-3 or something. They're gonna shut them down, and they're also going to get a nice bowl game.
Yeah, they put up some points, except Mississippi State's always put up points, except their last 5 games. They got shut out by Alabama. They only scored 3 against LSU, but then they scored 28 against A&M, 45 against Louisiana Tech, and 52 against Arkansas. I think you're right. It's going to be probably like a 24-3, 24-0, 28-0, 28-3, something like that. So Mississippi State as well. Next, you got Syracuse, who just lost to Notre Dame 36-3 at Boston College. Boston College just lost to Florida State, but Boston College is a 7.5-point favorite. Brandon?
I don't know what happened to their coach. Like I said, I was at a wedding, and I heard it on the radio. Sorry for that. I heard on the radio that he ran the ball, he got his tackle, then he got up, called play, and then walked to the line, and then got 2 steps back, and then just fell down.
Yeah, it looked like he hurt his back.
Yeah, I don't know if he hurt his back or what. I don't know if he's playing. I was listening, I don't know if you guys know, but by the way, the great Bulls and Mark May have their own podcast. And,
Mark May is the worst person in the entire world. Why would you even bring that up?
I'm sorry. No, I was watching because it goes goes along with what this was saying. They were talking about number 8 Syracuse, and they said Eric Dungy has not played the last 3 games the last 2 years, and he got hurt again this year. So, talking to a Holt, one of the smartest men on earth, but I digress.
Maybe the best spitter on earth.
Give me
Give me BC today. I'll take BC.
give me Boston College.
Just spit all over my mic.
I'm not even going to give a score. It's going to be Boston College.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Boston College. They are at home, right? Okay, yeah, give me Boston College. Syracuse just got beat handily outside. They're not that great outside. I think normally they're much better in the dome. Being in Boston College, I think Boston College is going to beat them up.
And for fun, I'm going to take Syracuse because we don't know if Dungy's playing or not. So just give me Syracuse.
Tony?
Yes. So college football should be fun this week. Should be interesting.
Back up so we can...
Yeah, I know. I'm going back. I'm scrolling up on my notes, and I got to scroll back up on this.
Well, you're scrolling down on that.
I'm sorry. I keep forgetting it's up. So the last thing here, the big game for Bear and I here, number 4 Michigan at number 10 Ohio State, 3.5-point dog for Ohio State. Brandon, you can go ahead first and tell us what you got.
Yeah, and I know at the beginning of the year when we're kind of doing our playoffs and everything, I said this has to be Michigan. This has to be Jim Harbaugh's year. He is the golden child at Michigan. He's the Shinbuck players illegitimate son or whatever.
His bastard son.
The only way
Is he Hornswoggle?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, but this has to be his year. Like I said, I think it is going to be. I think they get it done. They have not beaten Ohio State at Ohio State since John Cooper was the head coach since what was that 2000. So a whole generation of college football fans have not seen Michigan beat Ohio State at Ohio State. So I think they're going to get it done this year. I'm sorry. I think they're going to get it done 24-17. Michigan wins. Close game, it's going to be a hard fought game back and forth. It's going to be a great game. Both great offenses. Ohio State's defense, a little rough. They need to patch that up with who's the DC there?
Greg Schiano is going to get fired.
Yeah. He needs to get his act together. Yeah, he's going to be key.
Can't wait for that.
Ohio State keeps it close, but I think Michigan pulls away 24-7.
Yeah, just to bank on that. Going back, Michigan, it was 2000 that they beat Ohio State in Ohio State, and they were ranked 1 at the time. Other than that, they won in 2003, and they won in 2011. Both obviously in Ann Arbor, as we went over. So since the millennium, Michigan has won 3 of 17 games. It's not a good record according to my math. This game, this I've told everybody, Ohio State, Michigan, whoever a fan of. This is the first time I've actually been worried since 2011. Obviously, in 2011, Ohio State wasn't good, so I didn't have much hope they were going to win that game. They almost did beat Michigan in Ann Arbor. They ended up losing 40-34. Ever since then, the games have been extremely close. Besides 2014, 2015, the Zeke years when he just ran all over them. The last 2 years, I think 2 years ago was the overtime game in Columbus. It was a great game. The J.T. Barrett first down, that was a first down. If you think anything otherwise, you're obviously not very smart, or you're Stevie Wonder because you're blind. And then last year, it was nerve-wracking, but they pulled away as Dwayne Haskins came in after J.T. Barrett got hurt. This year, obviously, Michigan had a great defense last year. They have another good defense this year, very good. Chase Winovich might not play.
Yep.
If he doesn't play, it changes the dynamic a little bit, I think. Devin Bush has been injury prone, and they need him. They need Chase off the other edge. So if they don't have him, it'll be huge. I think he is, but like you said, he's banged up. Michigan's secondary, not the best. They're good. They're good enough, but they're not the best. The key to the game, in my opinion, is if Winovich does play, if that defensive line is healthy, they're going to need to play Tate Martell. They're going to have to run more of a read option, and they're going to have to keep that edge honest. And that if they do that and they succeed, Michigan's going to struggle. They are. That's going to open up the run game for everybody else. It's going to open up the pass game for Haskins when he comes back in because he's going to play a majority of this game. But they need to do that. Obviously, the other thing they need to do is shore up that defense. That defense is bad. They just gave up 51 points to Maryland and should have lost that game if Maryland's quarterback wasn't hot garbage. If Michigan, their key to win in all reality is you have to give the ball to Higdon. You have to run Higdon. If they don't run Higdon, it proves to me that Harbaugh, one, is scared of Urban and outcoaches himself and can't handle the pressure because Harbaugh, I don't know what his record is against Urban, but I think it's like 0-3 or 0-4 or something. I don't think he's ever beaten Urban. Yeah. And I think that Urban has his number. There's been a lot of rumors that saying this is it for Urban. I'm hearing a lot of. Go ahead.
I think he's done. I said it at the beginning. I didn't believe it as much as I do now at the beginning. I just thought it was, something that could happen, especially after the whole thing that went down in August. But just looking at him on the sidelines, just seeing how he is, the health problems that he had in Florida, like he was before. I mean, I think he's done. He's never been anywhere more than however he was at Florida. He was there 7 years.
Yeah.
This is 8 years at Ohio State. I think the stress is getting to him. I think he's just going to retire and then he'll be done. Might see him on TV again, but I think more of a chance now than it was back in August when I thought it was going to be done. But I think this is last rivalry game.
Yeah, I do. I do think he's going to go, like you said, there's, the sources he got were from Colin Cowherd. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, he's been in the sports industry for a long time. He's got a lot of good sources. A lot of them are West Coast sources, so it still keeps me a little hard to believe of what's actually going on. It wouldn't shock me if he did, leave. You see him on the sideline. I don't know if it's Urban being Urban. I don't know if it really is this brain cyst that he has. It is a serious condition. No joke about it. But if he's like this and this is how it is, and he gets stressed and whatnot from football, this is why he left Florida. So I think that this is probably why he's going to retire from football for good. He probably will be an announcer. It's less stressful, nothing on him. Give the team to Ryan Day or give the team to wherever the search goes. I've heard even Luke Fickell coming back as a rumor, which would be quite interesting. Obviously, he's turned Cincinnati into a decent squad. We'll see. Back to the game. Like I said, Michigan's got to run Higdon. Ohio State needs to, keep them honest with Martell and Dobbins. Mikey Weber is going to play. I think they didn't want to sit him out last week, but he's healthy now. We're going to see exactly what happens. I'm very interested. 3.5-point dog at home. Man, that's tough. But all I can think about is that defense, and Ohio State's really bad defense, and I really do think that they're just going to run Higdon. My gut tells me you got to take Ohio State. Ohio State's going to win in a close game. My head says pick Michigan. Screw my picks. I'm down by 11. I'm going Buckeyes. Outright win. I'm not going to pick against my team. I'm not going to bet on this game. There's no way. I'm not. And I do think that if Ohio State does lose, well, regardless, win or lose, I think Urban's done after the bowl game. If they lose and they give up a lot, I think Shiano is gone. I think Shiano's gone regardless. I think he's hot garbage. And I didn't get into it. And Gary, I don't know if you want to make your pick before I go into my little Bobby Carpenter story. You just want me to say it. It'll be quick.
Well, I want you to talk a little bit about that. I'm just going to add to this. Sorry, I had to fill up the fuel here. You could hear it pumping.
Oh, you were pumping?
I was pumping hard. And it wasn't 2 pumps. It was like 100 pumps. But, I'm with you. I think that the difference here, and again, I'm down by a shitload too. So I'm going to go with Ohio State as well in 3.5. If they lose, if it's by 3, we still get our pick right, great. But I don't care about that. I want them to win the damn game. I think that the biggest thing here, like you said, Mikey Weber, you got to have J.K. Dobbins, and the big thing for me, I think, is Tate. Tate has to play. You have to involve Tate somehow in there. I think that's huge. I can't say enough about it. They let him come in a little bit. I remember watching it at the Michigan State game. Like Tate comes in and does a play, and then Dwayne's getting ready to come back in, and Urban goes back on the field and just says no, pushes him back out there, pulls Dwayne back. I'm like, good. Going to use him. And it was basically them showing Michigan, like, hey, we're going to show you what's up. And like you said, it's a rivalry game. Yeah. So it's huge, and Ohio State has owned their ass since we've been adults. And I hope they still do it. It's going to be if I don't think Michigan's seen an offense like Ohio State this year. Dwayne, I know you're a big Dwayne Haskins fan. I'm a big fan of his too. He looks good. He makes some mistakes like any quarterback, but he has guys that drop the ball too. It goes either way. But when he's on point, and he's in the clutch. He is in this last game. Granted, Maryland should have won that game. I was sitting there at the show watching this damn game with 4 guys on a little phone because we're sitting here and we're like, oh shit. And I said, they're going to go for 2. They have nothing to lose here.
Exactly.
And they went for it, and he was wide open, and he threw it. Yeah, and he got excited and threw it to the side, and I was like, oh my God, we have a chance. So like with you, I know everybody's talking shit, and even that idiot on the feed that said Notre Dame is trying to give us the Notre Dame record.
Right. And I showed you guys that, and I really do think that let Michigan fans talk. You know why? Because they're nervous still. They haven't won a game since 2000. It's been 7 years since they've had a victory against Ohio State. Ohio State, I
was in my damn early 20s when they last won.
I know. I mean,
You weren't even old enough to drink.
I was
legally.
I was 20. Yeah. So no, I wasn't. I was just 20. Just turned 20 years old. And you know what? To be honest with you, the pressure's on Michigan. Michigan has to win to get into the playoff. Right now, Ohio State, if they win, even if they beat Northwestern, they're not guaranteed the playoff. They aren't.
In my opinion, they're not getting in. If they win this game, and they can't, if they win this game and go to the title game, you can't look past Northwestern. I know they're only 7-4 or whatever. They're still tough.
Exactly. And I think regardless, like I said, I'll give my scenario here after I give my little Bobby Carpenter thing. But with this, I don't think that regardless they make it into the playoff. I really don't. So there's no pressure on them. The only pressure is that they're in Columbus. They don't want to lose in front of the home crowd. So that makes a little bit of sense to me. No one like you guys were saying. No one who's at that school. No one who's been there coach wise. There's not one coach, one player. I mean, obviously there's fans, but there's not a lot of people there. The students know. There's no one who's there in 2000. Didn't happen.
And I think you're right. They want to end this strong. I agree with you. Urban's done after this year with the health issues.
So why not beat Harbaugh one more time?
And then beat him one more time, beat Northwestern, get into a New Year's game, maybe a New Year's Six game if they win out.
Rose Bowl would be great.
Rose Bowl is what I'm thinking against Washington or Washington State. And if they win out, and just win one for him and send him off into the sunset, call it a life for him.
Yep. Okay, so my little Bobby Carpenter story. I went to a Border Bash charity thing for the Boys and Girls Club in Northwest Ohio last Friday night.
Where was that, by the way?
The Premier.
Yep. I was just in front of that today when I went to the License Bureau.
Yep. And it's a great event, obviously, as I said, for the Boys and Girls Club of Northwest Ohio. They raised a lot of money. Their goal this year was $25,000. The event went from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. They hit $25,000 at about 9:15.
Right.
And that was before all the silent auction stuff. So obviously they went way beyond that. So it was wonderful. But Bobby Carpenter was there. And the funny thing is when I walked in with Hot Friend, we walked in and we had our tickets, so we were checking in. And as we were about to walk in to go see her work people, my parents and the neighbors, they were there. Just to go say hi, go sit down, do whatever. And I saw this tall dude, tall blonde walking, short hair. And I was like, I turned to her and she didn't know who it looked like. I go, that looks like Bobby Carpenter. I was like, whatever. So of course we're sitting at a table 2 away from him, and he's signing, little pictures, little 6x10s or whatever. And there was a couple people talking to him. So I was waiting. I was talking to her, and I was like, just waiting for these people to leave. I just want to, ask them a couple questions. So finally they leave. I walk up to him. Hey, Bobby, big fan, big Ohio State fan, big Cowboys fan. I said I grew up watching pretty much my whole life because you played at Ohio State right there when I was growing up, in my late teens. And you were drafted by Dallas. I said, so it's huge. So, of course, the first question I ask is, how was I playing for Jerry Jones, blah, blah, this and that. We get into talking. Guy's a hell of a guy. He just talk. I mean, he was He asked me my name. You know, he was very respectable. He asked my friend her name. My dad actually came up. Didn't even know who it was. He was being weird walking around. He came up and he goes, "Oh, yeah, whatever." I said, "Dude, this is Bobby Carpenter." He goes, "Where's your long hair at?" That's exactly what he asked him.
Was he drunk?
We had a little bit. I mean, we both had a little bit, and that's why I was rambling on and talking to him. I just wanted to know how it was. He's great friends with Tony Romo, by the way. Very good friends. He said Tony invites him over to his place when he's down in Dallas around all the time. He's hung out with him and Jim Nance and everything. They both have Bobby Carpenter has 4 young kids. Obviously, Romo has 3 young kids. Their wives are friends, so they're actually good friends, which kind of surprised me. I didn't realize it, but he said they're still great friends. He does Mac games for ESPN, still lives in Columbus, and he still works out at Ohio State every day. So I went into that. Said, okay, let's talk about the game, blah, blah, this. I go, one, what do you think about Urban? Do you think it's time? And he said, well, we'll see. You know, this and that. I think he's a great coach. I think he's good for the university. With the health issues, I don't know. And this was before everything about the retirement rumors. So then we went into talking about the defense. I told him, I said, I'm not going to lie to you. I said, it's easy for fans to say this who haven't, played the game at your level, who haven't done this, but I said, something isn't right with Shiano. I said, I don't know if it's because Coombs is gone, whatever the case may be. I said, but something isn't right. I said, so what's your opinion on him, Bobby? I want to know, what is your opinion on Greg Schiano? And he said that when he came, when Schiano came in, he was not a fan. He wasn't. He said he grew on him, and I think he was giving a respectable answer because I could kind of see
politically correct.
I could kind of see as he was talking about it, it was kind of like the guy's all right, but whatever. So he said he's grown on him, but he goes every day, and we talked about the schemes, and he said that it's correct. The schemes are bad. He goes, Schiano is playing linebackers too close to the line, who, besides Tuck Orland, who shouldn't be playing this year, by the way. He tore his Achilles 6 months ago, and he's playing college football. He shouldn't even be playing. He even said it. He goes, that's what he said. He goes, the dude is tough. He goes, that's ridiculous. He should not even be playing this year. He goes, but we're playing young linebackers too close to the line, and they're getting beat. He said that there's no instinct in the secondary because they're playing up so close on the line is that the linebackers can't run back to make a play, and the secondary has to defend on them. He goes, so if you have it was funny as he brought this up, he goes, if you have a 190-pound, 200-pound running back going up against a 170-pound DB, who's going to win that most of the time? The running back, and then no one's behind you. And he said that's why they're getting burned a lot, which is hilarious because what happened in the Maryland game? The same exact thing. And it was insane to hear him say that and then just go out and watch it. So and don't get me wrong, he's a great defensive mind. He played defense in, obviously high-level high school, high-level college, in the pros for 6, 7, 8 years, whatever he did. And he knows what's going on. He's obviously very smart. And it sounded like he kind of wanted Schiano out. He wanted somebody else in there. So it's very interesting that his perspective was kind of the same as a fan's, more or less. But when he's working out with the team, he said pretty much every day that, through the week, when he can be there, if he doesn't have Mac games for ESPN, he lives in Columbus. That's where he works out. He works, and obviously you have a lifelong pass to, football. So he talks with the kids and everything every single day. So it was an interesting perspective from him. I mean, he was a hell of a guy. It was great. Talked about, playing for Jerry Jones and all that, which was kind of entertaining, and talking about how he is a good guy. He does take care of everybody. He said, but he is the only, and it was funny, he was very, very honest. He said he's the only he's the only owner who's a GM, and he said it shouldn't be that way. He said he needs to give it up. He said he's a great owner. He's wonderful. He doesn't lie to you. He tells you how it is. He is a very, very good and genuine guy. He said, but he should not be GM of that team, which I thought was very interesting. And he said that. Off this, I asked him about Garrett Linehan, because obviously I'm pissed. He said that he does not a fan, and say he didn't like, I shouldn't say that, because he didn't say that. He said he's not a fan of Garrett because of the way he dicked over Romo. How about that?
Interesting, yeah, because he's got, they're friends there, so that's a big deal to him. I agree. That's kind of a shitty situation. And me, being a friend that I am to you, I said, did you tell him about the podcast? I was trying to get him on. We could have had a guest on.
Yeah, I know. Last thing on my mind at the time, I was so you can when you meet hot friends.
Oh, dude, I would forget.
No, I'm just saying when you meet hot friends and you tell them that. I mean, I just talking to him the entire time and kept telling her I'm going to talk. I even told her, I said he was drafted by Dallas, first round, 18th overall. Didn't look it up, just knew it, top of my head. I could just remember that. So at the end of our conversation, I said, sorry, I don't want to take up any more of your time. It's been like 15 minutes at this point. I can see people kind of like around, you know, and I'm like, I'm done. I need to stop pestering you. I'll let you get to the other people who want autographs. Because the first thing I said was, I don't want an autograph. I just want to talk. And I think people respect that a little bit more.
Yeah, I totally agree. I already have his autograph.
I just want to talk. I have Schlegel's.
I have Schlegel, Carpenter, and
of course
Hawk.
He's great friends with Laurinaitis, Hawk, and Schlegel still.
Yep.
So that's really cool. But you know, I asked him. I said, okay. I said, obviously you remember, you know, where you were drafted. I said, I told her, my hot friend. I told her. I said, okay, this is where he was drafted. Can you tell her where he was drafted so she can look at me like you're crazy? And of course, that's what he said. He goes, yeah, first round, 18th overall. I said, see, there you go. I said, I can't remember what I did yesterday, but I know where Bobby Carpenter was drafted in 2007 or 6 or whenever he was drafted.
I know, and when we see her, you know, we'll see her at the charity event we're going to in a couple weeks. And I'll ask her about that too. I'll be like, he was probably so focused on seeing him and like had things in his mind that the podcast was the furthest thing from it. Now, when I see people, I'm the same way. Like when I do new business with people and we get to know each other, they ask about stuff. I'm like, oh, we have this podcast. You know, what do I do as a hobby? I do this podcast. But if I were to meet somebody like that, I will forget about the podcast as much as I don't want to, because I'm going to think of stuff like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Because the good thing is,
you're never going to be able to ask that question.
Right. And the good thing is, you were able to just bring it to the show. So that's awesome.
I'm going to get the knowledge regardless. And Brandon, you got to be a Bobby Carpenter fan. He did play for the Lions for a couple of years.
You're still here?
I was just making sure you were still alive over there. It was cool. I know how you like meeting people like that. You would have actually had a blast talking to him. He was very smart, very nice. He did make fun of a Notre Dame fan, which was fantastic. So I was happy about that. It made it even better.
Yeah.
But this Notre Dame fan was at an Ohio State-Michigan border bash being obnoxious. So he kind of deserved it.
So...
Yeah, I can't speak for that. I'm not like that. If I thought Bobby Carpenter, yes. I mean, I would take my Ohio State hatred out of it and actually, you know, be a person and actually talk to him. So yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. Was he there? Was anybody else there? Was he just in there? Or?
No, they normally just get one guest a year. So he was the guest this year. He said that he had to do a MAC game somewhere, so he was like up here and then had to be back down to Columbus and then back like out east, I think, somewhere. I couldn't remember exactly what it was. I was more interested in the Cowboys and Buckeye stuff, but yeah, he was the speaker there, and he was really cool. Talked about all that. Said that he predicted Ohio State to win, like I think he said 27-24 or something like that. I think that's what he ended up saying with there. But it was a very good time. Obviously, everything was a good cause, and got to meet that. So I thought that was pretty cool. But we can finally get into NFL picks now. My long-winded story.
Wait a minute, though.
Right.
We did not get into a debate this week, and I just looked at my notes, and I'm like, oh, we didn't do our special segment. So I'm just going to come up with one on the fly. Who's the better coach, Lou Holtz or Urban Meyer? Brandon?
Oh,
I said, who's the better overall head coach? Urban Meyer.
Obviously, Urban Meyer. He has more championships than Lou Holtz, and he doesn't spit. He might have a lot of heart conditions and brain cysts, but at least he doesn't spit everywhere.
So, well, that was a quick one. That was just on the fly. So we're already an hour and a half in, but I do want to cover that game from last night real quick. So, Bear, you and I talked before the show. The over-under, we knew going into it, we were betting the over big.
Yeah.
And I bet the over big. 64 points. I just laughed at it. I'm like, are you serious? This is going to be huge. It's going to be like 80. And it ended up being 105 to be exact. And the spread was 3. So the spread ended at 3, but it opened at 3.5. It actually opened at 1, but when they moved it to LA, it opened at 3.5, reopened. And then it closed at 3. But you took it at 3.5.
I got it at 3.5.
Which is awesome. So you won.
Thursday. So I got that and the over in a tiny parlay, but enough to even me up for my losses in the bet week because I went about way too strong on Tennessee. What a mess that was.
Right.
So I ended up breaking back even at least for the week, which was nice.
Broke back Bear.
Yeah, I would have been freaking Tennessee. I should have took everything on the over, but I kind of talked myself out of it. But yeah, amazing game. Certainly a Super Bowl preview, possibly, but oh man, New Orleans, dude. Holy shit! I mean, they absolutely just made Philadelphia look like a college team.
If New Orleans defense is finally coming on strong since they got help.
Help?
No,
they probably did get help.
The corner, Ohio State.
Lattimore.
Yeah, thank you. Because they got.
Well, he's.
No. Who got traded over there though?
Oh, Eli Apple.
Apple, the other Buckeye. Yeah. So the other thing there is, did you notice or happen to notice? I want you to go back and see this. I thought it was crazy, but I noticed it every time. Every time the center for the Chiefs always was getting ready to snap, he would look to his left, look back, and snap. I'm like, you just time that out. When he looks left, looks back, he's snapping.
Yeah.
I've noticed it like 5 or 6 times, and it just stuck out because I see this helmet moving. What the hell is he doing? What's he looking at? Because it's just a quick look, and I'm like, is he looking at the line? What could he possibly be looking at?
He's got to see someone out of the peripheral, probably wherever. I mean, I don't know.
But every play, he was just quick, look left and look back, and then he'd snap. So
and to be honest with you, I mean, Kansas City was getting just, and I hate how they did this. They said they made it an all-star ref squad, like it would be a playoff.
Right.
And the refs were trash. I think at one point it was like 9 for 92 to Kansas City to 0 penalties for the Rams. I mean, the officiating was terrible. There was a lot of bad calls in that game, and Kansas City still only lost by 3. I think they're a really good squad. I really do think now they're going to roll through the AFC. They should have beat the Rams last night, to be honest with you. They kind of blew it in the last 10 minutes.
I think looking back, your New Orleans pick looks great, and Kansas City's looking like it's going to be a fun Super Bowl if those two get there. But don't put it past Tom Brady. Don't put it past Ben Roethlisberger to get in there. You know, they're experienced. They've been there.
They are.
We don't know what's going to happen. With the NFC, it's looking more and more like it's the Saints. They handled the Rams when they had them. And, we're going to see.
They're going to be fighting for Minnesota here, too. They might not even make it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Well, he's got Minnesota over Pittsburgh, and I've got New England. I think all of us have the potential to get one of them right. I can have New England, and he could have Pittsburgh. You're probably going to have New Orleans. But, anything can happen. Drew Brees could get hurt tomorrow.
Hey.
I hope it doesn't happen, but you never know. And but it'll be interesting. It should be a fun year. And that just goes to show you last night when we're looking at for the future with the Rams and the Chiefs. Potential Super Bowl, for the next 5 years could be, especially with Brady going out, other guys retiring, and Roethlisberger's getting older. And Drew Brees obviously is not getting any younger. He's going to be there probably for another 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be tough for people.
And also I saw this, and I know that we're going to go way long on this, but I saw this, and it was a great fun fact. Someone posted on Twitter. The Saints traded up and almost got Mahomes. Like, if that would have happened, could you just mark New Orleans down for the next 18 Super Bowls?
Probably.
That's absolutely insane if they would have got him to back up Breeze. Holy shit. That would have been absolutely insane. With Sean Payton and Michael Thomas and Kamara and Ingram.
What draft did they get Mahomes in?
I think
15 or 16?
Kansas City got him at 10. Oh, well, 16. Kansas City got him at 10.
And that's the same year they got Hunt, right?
Yeah, they got Hunt in the
third. Yeah, the same draft. It's kind of like Dallas, same draft.
Yeah.
Got Zeke and Dak.
Yep.
It's interesting.
It certainly is. And that's why drafts are very important, unless this year when no one good's coming out and you get Amari Cooper instead for a first-round pick. Which is great, by the way.
I totally agree. So let's get right into these NFL picks. So the first game we've got.
Hold on a second. Let's start off with the podcast. I'll go over really fast. So we're still up by 1 on Wellington's Wieners,
which would be me.
Gary's burner team. Mr. Perfect with the big 4 wins last week dropped down to 100.
Yeah. But let's just talk about that real quick. So everybody, Jake, myself, Bear, Brandon, and podcast were 6-6. However, the podcast should be * 7-5. But Bear was drinking a little bit too much and accidentally marked the Jaguars when Brandon and I took the Steelers. So
who should have won, by the way.
And so it kind of worked out for me against the podcast because I was 1 behind.
Yep.
And now I'm truly 1 behind because I missed the Browns game and now we missed the Jags game. So now it's 103 to 104 really, but on there it's 103 to 102.
Yep.
Right? So we know what it is. We should be further ahead. I should be further ahead of that. But that shows us, we can see where we are. So, Bear, you're at 101. Where would you fall in right there on the list?
I would be 3rd.
I'd be tied for 1st, obviously.
Yep.
But we missed the pot, so actually I'd still be 1 behind. Brandon at 95, where would he be?
He would be 6th.
All right, and then who had the biggest week last week?
Let's see. Jay Bird had 8.
That's Johnny.
Joe Schmo had 8.
Nice.
Ex-wife had 8. The 3 people had 8.
And ex-wife would have had 9, but she took the Chiefs. And I know Johnny and Joe Smo must have taken the Rams because she was ahead. So, good week for them. Where's Johnny sitting at now?
Johnny he's in 6th. He just jumped top Brenda, actually, by 1.
How'd she do?
She only got 5.
Yeah.
So she's back to 10 behind, but still totally achievable. Anyone really, you just saw what we did. We just put up 6. So,
but the top was 8, so we got lucky.
Yeah.
We got lucky that we had 7, but that's okay. We'll forgive him. We're all human here. But this week we're going to make sure he gets it right. So let's get right into it. We got a trifecta on Thanksgiving. First game, Bears at Lions. What do we got, Brandon?
I don't think Trubisky's going to play. He's day-to-day.
What?
And he did say that
He's playing.
they're going to do the right thing, so whatever that
He'll be playing.
Trubisky's
He will be
definitely going to be playing.
I don't know what happened, but apparently he got in there.
Dude, they're leading. They're not going to lose that division.
Yeah, so I said the Lions were going to win probably one lead the rest of the year. So there, I might have to go to this game again, just so, if there's really electric one, and hey, maybe if you go this week, they'll win again. But,
Who'd they beat?
Like Panthers.
There's not a what if. You have to pick it now. Okay.
Well, that was dumb. Trubisky will play, and they will win. Yes, the Lions did win. You are welcome. I was in the end zone at the 2-point conversion, and I was yelling, Christian McCaffrey's wide open, Christian McCaffrey's wide open, and Cam is staring at everyone but Christian McCaffrey, and then threw the ball away. Of course, the typical classy Lions fans, I was wearing my Ohio State hoodie or my Dallas Cowboys hoodie, and they couldn't get enough of it. So, of course, I had to rub it in after they won on a game-winning field goal, let everyone know who really did win around there. But I also saw about 20 more Cowboys fans in there and 100 other fans that weren't Panthers or Lions fans. But, it's just typical, and I've come to expect it, and I kind of like it, actually, a little bit.
So the Bears?
Yeah, Bears.
And the Bears. So plug that in right now. Don't screw it up, please. Next game, we've got the Redskins. Remember I called this? Redskins are going to lose. Cowboys are going to win. They're going to play each other for the division lead. Now Alex Smith, horrific injury. Horrific.
Did you see that it was the same day, the same
Theismann,
final
33
score
years.
as Joe Theismann?
33 years. And Theismann tweeted it.
Yeah.
Yes. Same yard line,
Really?
and it basically twisted off, is basically what they said all the way around. Alex Smith's out. Brandon, what do you got? And Colt McCoy is the starter.
Yeah, Colt McCoy hasn't played 4 years. Going to Dallas is at home. Obviously, you guys know they play better at home. The Eagles in this game, the Cowboys.
Bear.
Young ball,
By the way, Colt McCoy has never lost to the Cowboys. Just throwing that out there. The last time he played in Dallas, he beat the living shit out of the Cowboys. I think it was on Monday night. Went 25 for 30 for like 277 and 2 touchdowns.
That's not happening against this defense. Not against this defense.
You didn't let me finish. It's not happening again, and Colt McCoy will have a loss against the Cowboys. As much as I want them to lose, this is so disappointing.
They're going to win that
sneak
division.
into the goddamn playoffs, and they're going to give Garrett a fucking extension, and they're just they just hate me. I don't know why. They absolutely hate me, and I'm so mad that this is going to happen.
Well,
they're going to win the division at freaking 9-7, and they're going to get stomped out in the first round, and they're. Oh, I'm so mad.
Maybe they'll rally around. Maybe they'll still fire Garrett.
The good news is after this week, when they do beat Washington, they're going to get the asses handed to it by the Saints because they play them next Thursday.
Yeah, they're done.
Prediction. Adrian Peterson gets 100 yards.
No way. He gets 70.
Sneaky prediction. Mitchell Trubisky plays.
No, I think AP gets 70.
Sneaky prediction. Brandon has 6 plates of food on Thursday.
Agreed. Is that the over? Is that the over/under?
No, I'll set the over/under at 3.5 dinner plates, not dessert. That's dinner plates.
3.5.
3.5.
I'm gonna have to. I think it's gonna be a wash. I think he doesn't finish that 4th plate. He gets 3.5.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And the night game, Falcons at Saints. I think we can mark this across the board too.
Yeah, this will be a fun night game finally. Normally it's been like Patriots Jets the last couple of Thursday nights on Thanksgiving, which has always sucked. Actually, no, I lied. I think the Packers and Vikings played last year, or maybe it was but Rodgers was hurt. I think that's why it wasn't any good. But yeah, this will be a fun one. I think Atlanta will keep up with them for maybe a little bit longer than other teams have here recently, but New Orleans should blow the crap out of them. I wonder what the over-under is going to be on this one. That's going to be close to 60 as well, I bet.
Probably like 57, I would say.
It'll be tight.
Yep. All right, next game. I think this is an interesting game. It shouldn't be, but I think it is.
Yeah.
Giants and Eagles. Brandon? I like it.
It's going to be close. I think that the Eagles do win at home. Wentz has not been playing great after, the second half against Dallas he played well, but the first half he played like shit. He played very, very bad against the Saints. But the Eagles aren't going to lose to the Giants at home. They always play crazy-ass games, though, so it'll be interesting. But give me the Eagles at home.
And I'm going to take the Giants, so we as a podcast are going to take the Giants. I know. And they gave this hypothetical. You should have seen it. So right now the Giants are sitting at 3-7, right?
Yeah.
They win, they're 4-7.
Yeah.
Okay. Eagles would be 4-7.
Yep.
Cowboys are going to lose next week, and so if the Giants can win this week, next week they're going to be 6-7. They'd be tied with Dallas because Dallas would be
6-6.
Oh, they'll be 6-6. So maybe are they three? Maybe they're 3-6 right now.
No, they're playing 7.
Giants are, so they could be 4-7.
So you're Dallas is 2 games ahead of them, so they'd have to be.
And they play again.
I mean, Dallas have to lose the next 2. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they won't. Now, who do they play after the Saints? The Cowboys.
Maybe it's the Giants. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, but they still have an outside shot to get the playoff too.
Yeah.
I think the Redskins now, they lost Alex Smith, they're going to fold. They had a good start. Unfortunately, it's not those 2 wins that Barrett talked about at the beginning of the year, 1-15 for the Redskins. So
can't be right all the time, guys. Can't be right all the time.
Right.
We didn't play the Giants. Last game of the year. Yeah, it's not even the last.
Who do they have after the Saints?
They go Redskins, Saints, and that's it. Both of those are at home, by the way.
Good.
Oh, and at home again against the Eagles. So they play 3 straight home games. So this is a big stretch. And they play at the Colts, back home against the Buccaneers, and then at the Giants. So, I mean, Dallas could go. They could go 5-1 in their last 6. Like that's absolutely
they're going to
ridiculous
lose to the
say.
They're going to lose to the Saints, and the Colts are going to
look
out for the Colts.
The Buccaneers are trash right now, and the Giants, they're gonna have to play.
So they could finish 5-1, like you said.
God.
What are they sitting at right now?
5-5.
So yeah, they could be
10-6,
which would be nuts. I think they're going to go 9-7 though.
Do you want to get the phone hung up on you right now? I hate you. I hate you so much.
All right.
Next game.
Jaguars at Bills.
This is another toss-up. I mean, Jags are pretty good. You said they should have won on 3. They're playing terrible. Their defense is garbage. Those are out roller coasters. They're playing at Cedar Point. They're up and down. It's crazy. They win when they're not supposed to. They lose when they're not supposed to. Give me the Jags.
Yeah.
All those passes for 32.
40. and he'll rush for 120 though. I'm gonna take the Jags as well. It'll be close, but I do think they win this. They have no chance. They have no choice but to win out right now to even sniff playoffs.
And they should have beat Pittsburgh.
They should have.
And Fournette's back. He's going to run on them.
Yeah,
he's going to run on the Bills. So I'm taking the Jaguars too. Next, Seahawks at Panthers.
Yeah, this is. Oh, sorry to interrupt, Brandon.
Seriously, this will be a great game. Give me the Seahawks.
I see that I'm going to be. Nope, you're wrong, sir. I'm taking the Panthers at home. They've got embarrassed by Pittsburgh. They've got embarrassed by Detroit. They will not get embarrassed by Seattle at home. And also, I'm pretty sure the Panthers are undefeated at home right now. I think they're 5-0 or 4-0. So give me the Panthers.
Give me the Sea Chickens. So, us as a podcast taking the Seahawks. You got that right?
I got the Seahawks and the Jags right. I picked the Bills. We got it. It was a joke.
I was like, wait, what? But you got the Giants for us, though.
Unfortunately.
Raiders at Ravens. Raiders for the win.
Just we can write that one right across the board, too. Nope, it's going to be
the better quarterback.
Oh, he is. Yeah, Ravens are going to win at home.
Ravens, 49ers at Bucks.
Buccaneers can't find a quarterback. 49ers don't have a quarterback.
What?
What did you just say?
Well, that what's his face?
Nick
Mullen? Yeah, that dude's a stud. What are you talking about? Don't have a quarterback. He's better than Jameis or Fitzpatrick.
I don't even know where he played in college.
Where'd Brett Favre play? No.
Mississippi, Southern Mississippi.
There you go. That's where he played, Knob.
After all that.
Yeah. I think with Jameis back at home, they'll probably end up winning. The 49ers just aren't, like I said, great quarterback. I shouldn't say great quarterback. He's been a good fill-in, better than most expected. I'm going to take Tampa at home, though. I don't think that the Niners are going to pull this one off.
Brandon, we're aligning here. So far, we're 3 for 3 on the. Well, no, we have 4 disagreements so far. 3 of them are you and I, and so I've sided with one of you obviously every time. You guys have not sided together yet. Me going against you.
I just took the Bucks. I just switched.
You idiot!
Yeah, I'm not paying attention again, but I caught it this time.
All right,
check.
Here, Bears, Cowboys, Saints, Giants, Jags, Hawks.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it, Nobby.
Maybe we're going to disagree here soon, hopefully. Well, I don't think we're going to go 2-1 because last week there was a few that I was different than you guys. But this next one, so Browns at the Bengals. Brandon.
They did hire, I know we joked about this last week, they hired Hugh Jackson, Bengals offensive assistant. Whatever the hell that is. Give me the Bengals out of the they're still fighting for a chance to win
They have no chance.
They're not going to because Pittsburgh's actually knows how to play football now. But
they always know how to play football.
Yeah, I'm taking the Browns here. I think that Hugh Jackson with the Bengals made them worse. I think that's very clear. Marvin Lewis has retaken over the defense, which is trash. I don't know what hiring Hugh Jackson I don't know what that did because they got rid of Haley at the same time, which was their offense. Greg Williams has changed the offense around and has a different offensive coordinator for help. So it's not like he can get in there and tell anyone tendencies or anything. Obviously, they're going to change snap counts. They're going to change all the basic stuff, which is quite clear. So I'm not exactly sure what the Bengals were thinking by this, and this is going to be their downfall right here after starting year 4-0.
Right.
Yeah, they're about to lose to the Browns. So Browns, I'm gonna put a score on this one. Give me 28-17. It's gonna be big.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like 38-27, something like that. I agree. It's going to be some scoring.
Denzel Ward will have a pick 6 in this game. Mark it down.
I agree. And Baker, he's just coming out strong. Here's a fun fact for you. Well, first off, the Steelers are 2.5 games ahead. It's their division. They're not losing it. And they're 2.5 ahead of Baltimore and Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's 1-2 in the division. Baltimore 2-3. And Cleveland's 1-1-1. They're 3-6-1. So if they win, they'll be a half game behind Cincinnati for last place. Here's a fun fact for you. Steelers started out 1-2-1. Jaguars started out 3-1. Since then, the Steelers have won 6 in a row. The Jags have lost 6 in a row. Jags are 3-7. Steelers are 7-2-1. So pretty interesting to see. We're taking the Browns. So again, we differ. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 games, and we had 5 differences so far. So it's pretty big for us.
This one's going to be the same, though. I hope this one's going to be the same.
Patriots at Jets.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. And I think the next one's going to probably be the same too. Cardinals at Chargers.
Chargers just embarrassed by Denver. Last second field goal. I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, I'll take Chargers.
Chargers here. Steelers at Broncos.
Steelers.
I'm going to take the Steelers, but this is going to be closer than most people think. I really do. It'll be interesting to see if they get any weather as well. I know they haven't had the best weather here lately, so we'll see what they can be done. But Denver just upsetting LA in Denver. In LA, excuse me. Now they're back home. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Denver pulled the upset. I don't think they will, but I would be shocked.
And, yeah. It's Steelers.
Pittsburgh.
Yep. Dolphins at Colts.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill is coming back to start this week. I don't think he's going to help them.
Yeah, Colts are very hot right now, and I think that at home they will beat up on the Dolphins here. Andrew Luck healthy is, and I'm happy.
They're only 2 games out.
Yeah, and I'm very happy, and I think they play Houston here coming up very, very soon.
Yep.
I'm very happy that Luck is playing well because I don't like how when he got hurt, everyone's like, oh, he's not good, he's overrated, he's done. No, Andrew Luck's a very good quarterback.
Yes,
He's a great NFL quarterback.
He's just got to be healthy.
And you know what? I think he's understood now he needs to stop running. He's sitting in the pocket, and I mean, that dude is slinging the ball, and the less running he's doing, the less likely he is to get hurt. And that offensive line is revamped. Brandon, your boy Quentin Nelson, he's having one hell of a year. He could be rookie of the year as a freaking lineman. I mean, on offense. That's insane.
And I want to throw a stat out to you guys real quick. So we've got 5 teams that have won 4 games in a row or more. Can you name them?
Colts.
That's 1.
Texans.
That is 2. How many have they won in a row?
7 now?
7.
7 now. They started 0-3, now they're 7-3. Pittsburgh.
Next. Yep. 2 more.
Saints.
1 more. NFC.
Bears?
Yep. Bears.
Wow.
4 in a row.
Okay.
They were 3-3. They won 4 in a row now. They are 7-3, and the Vikings are 5-4-1. Packers are 4-5-1, which, by the way, is the next game. So Packers and Vikings Sunday night. They tied in their last game, by the way.
They did. And that was. Yeah, that was. Thanks. That was. That was in Green Bay. Green Bay blew an 8-point lead with like a minute and a half left to go. Minnesota drove all the way down the field. Ended up tying after a few missed field goals. I think that Minnesota does beat them, and this will eliminate Green Bay from the playoffs. Not a good chance to go 9-6-1 and make the playoffs. That means they have to win out as well, and I don't think they will. I know they still have the Bears again. They have a couple other decent teams they got to play. But I do think the Vikings win this at home. Give me Minnesota.
I agree. And then they play the Cardinals, Falcons, Bears, Jets, Lions. So all winnable after that. So they could. It's a favorable schedule for them.
But they got to win.
And I think they lose this week as well. So Monday Night Football, to talk about teams that have gone, kind of, I don't want to say opposite ways. Titans were strong until this last week, got embarrassed. So Titans.
Mariota did get hurt.
Yep, Titans at Texans. We all did.
I don't know how many teams have made the playoffs, especially the division after starting the
He's on a plane right now. He's on a plane right now.
Yeah. Or it's good for that guy. I love that. That guy. Anyways, that guy.
Don't care. Just make a pick. Just pick the Texans. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Jesus. Texans, 8 straight. Easy.
Texans, agreed. And we're running on 2 hours. We haven't done a 2-hour show in a while.
Brandon's over here talking about last team that started 0-3 for the last hour and a half. I don't even know what the hell he's talking about anymore.
Right. So let's go to our DraftKings picks. Quarterback.
Dubzilla. Go! Yeah, we're going through a tunnel right now.
Tunnel.
Okay. Fun. Exciting. My quarterback this You're welcome. My quarterback this week is going to be Baker Mayfield. I think he's going to light up that Bengals defense. He's going to give Hugh Jackson nightmares for not playing him correctly. Baker Mayfield.
I was going to take Baker, but give me Drew Brees. Thanksgiving night against Falcons. He's going to light him up. Running back, Brandon.
James? Or Mister? Mister. This is going to be a tough one for me. Geez, running back this week, man. A lot of decent running backs out there, but I'm going to go with something a little bit off the wall. Tariq Cohen against the Lions defense.
I hope you are right.
McCaffrey was not used correctly last week as he should be. There was a lot of holes open that they could have used, and they can use Tariq Cohen the same way. So I'm going Tariq Cohen this week.
Give me Zeke. Wide receiver.
I don't. Galladay played well last week. He's going to be, he's a stud. I like Galladay a lot. I mean, if they use him the way they should, Galladay absolutely is a monster. He's big, he's lanky, he can play football. And at least he can catch the ball like Calvin Johnson, so that's a good thing. I knew he'd love that. Wide receiver this week, Jarvis Landry has been not great all year. I think he finally gets his first 10 catch, first 100 yards, he's gotten touchdowns, but he'll get a touchdown here. But 10 catches, over 100 yards, touchdown for Jarvis Landry this week.
I like it. Pair me up. I was going to pair me up, but yeah, do it. Give me Michael Thomas.
I like it. Like it a lot. Gonna have a big week. Brandon, tight end. I know you like those.
Yeah, very awesome.
Consistent.
Yeah, he did well against the Lions last week. Tight end for me. I kind of want to pick Rico Gathers just because Swain is out, but that's so stupid.
Oofa.
So actually, I'm going to go on the other side of the ball there. Give me Jordan Reed. It seems like he's been a Cowboy killer. So I'm going to take Jordan Reed this week.
Yeah, usually tight ends are Cowboy killers. Oh, yeah.
You didn't even think about that when you said it.
No, I didn't.
You're welcome.
Yes, I like it. All right.
The tight ends or the Cowboy killers?
Both.
Ooh, wow.
Man, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I'm just sitting here thinking about it like,
I
gosh.
bought you so much time.
Give me Kittle.
All right, I like it. That's a good pick. Or you go in the other way of that game, go to Cameron Brate because O.J. Howard's out for the rest of the year.
Yep.
Brandon, defense.
Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm on that bandwagon. I already picked them up in another league, so Ravens defense folks show.
Yeah. They, yeah. Give me the Jags, man. I think they turned around. I'll take the Jaguars.
If Josh Allen comes back and plays at the pick six written all over it.
Right. And you remember, I just remember that commercial because we're talking about defense. How about we show a little love to offense? Offense. And then when you got a nickel for a nickel package and a dime for a dime package. That commercial was great.
Oh, you kids in the TV.
Yes, it was great. So, Brandon, last thing we got here, top 3 rivalries in sports.
Rivalry week.
Number 3.
Rivalry.
What I said last week. Rivalry.
Made me think of that commercial.
Yeah. Rivalry.
Can't say it.
Rivalry. Brandon, number 3.
Yeah, only because it's me, and I think this is one of the greatest. It's not the greatest, but it's one up there. Maybe Notre Dame, USC, longest rivalry since 1926. I know you guys don't much about Notre Dame wins the series. I like it. It's always a good game. Usually hasn't been in the past.
Push.
Yeah. So, yeah, you
Okay. My number 3 is outside of football. It would probably be Yankees and Red Sox, and I don't like either team. I just think it's a great rivalry. I enjoy watching Pedro Martinez throw down Don Zimmer. That was exciting. No, a lot of the good fights. Jason Varitek. Who did he fight?
A-Rod.
A-Rod, that's right. Who Pettit fight? Who Pettit fight somebody?
No idea.
Yeah, right.
Ted Williams, maybe.
I can't remember. I don't think Andy Pettit's that old. No, yeah, Boston, New York, though, is a great rivalry. Mostly for the fight. That's why I enjoy most.
I have a 3-1 and a 3-2 or 3A, 3B.
Jesus, Brandon with your honorable mentions.
Steelers, Cowboys, just because that's big for us, and with the ex-wife too. And then I'm going to go not football or any contact sport related. Dale Earnhardt versus Jeff Gordon. The Intimidator all the way, Brandon.
Good one. What's your number 2 there, Dub? You are a Rainbow Warrior.
Number 2 is Duke North Carolina basketball. I think that's awesome rivalry. Great that they play 2 times a year. It's awesome. Sometimes they play 3 times a year. It's awesome. Even more if they play 4 times a year. So
shut up.
Yeah, great rivalry. Good.
Did they ever play 5 times in a year?
I don't know if they can get it.
No.
I mean, what if they have like a tournament at the beginning of the year? Like the Maui Invitational.
They won't play each other.
Oh, okay. Just curious.
2.
My number 2, I think that is a good just overall rivalry. Something that really sparked back up in 2009 that didn't last very long. Celtics-Lakers.
Yep.
I think that's a fantastic rivalry. You know, being able to watch a lot of highlights from back in the day in the 80s, Bird and Magic was fun. 2009 was good with Kobe and the first big 3, Allen, Garnett, and Pierce. So give me a Celtics Lakers.
So 2A, 2B, 2A, Lakers, Celtics, 2B, Red Sox, Yankees.
Okay.
That's it.
Brennan, numero uno.
Are you sure, Gary? You not have a 2C or a 2B or a 2B?
No, we're good. I didn't want to give honorable mentions. Because these are all in the top 4. I mean, of course, the teams I like all have big rivals. But number 1,
Yeah.
Bear and I are going to agree on number 1, and you probably should too.
Yeah, you're number 1. If I did honorable mentions, Boston Celtics, Lakers,
Jesus. Look what you did. Look what you started.
Yeah, exactly. Your guys' number 1 is one of my honorable. But my number 1, you guys already said it. There was your third.
Red Sox, Yankees.
Boston Red Sox.
You don't get honorable mentions if you're not here in person. So
I know. That's why I didn't say it.
you just did though.
Because I was saying,
Knob slob. Yeah,
there you
obviously Ohio State, Michigan, best rivalry in football, pro, college, doesn't matter. Greatest rivalry of all time. So much bad blood, so much hatred, so much annoying Michigan fan talk. Oh wait, sorry, that was a little bit biased. I mean, it's called the game for a reason, and others may want to try to put that on, but there is no game like Ohio State, Michigan. No matter if Ohio State's 2-10, Michigan's 10-2, vice versa, the games are usually pretty darn good. There's not many blowouts in the series as of late, and I don't think there will be going forward. I think it's going to be tight here for the next few years as well. Both teams being solid, a lot of recruits coming to both schools here. So definitely number 1, best rivalry ever.
I agree. I'm not even going to say anything else. I'll just echo you. So, long episode here. Thanks as always to our sponsors.
Wait, my honorable mention, Anthony Wayne Springfield.
Yeah, there we go.
Nothing? Brandon?
go.
Who was what the hell school did you go
Heidelberg.
to? Who was Heidelberg's rival? Notre Dame.
I was there for a year, so.
So you had to play somebody.
Didn't you run up your mom's credit card on Domino's Pizza? Didn't you run up your mom's credit card on Domino's Pizza?
It's a good story though.
I thought you did. I thought she complained about that.
No.
Pizza Hut. Get the story right.
I was there for a year. I don't know balls.
Rusty Wallace?
They tried to recruit me for college. I didn't go.
Rusty Wallace, Baldwin Wallace, doesn't matter. We're winning.
You still hate them with a passion?
No, I don't care.
Oh, okay. Just curious. All right.
I got my sacks. So that's all.
I'm sure you got your
bet
sacks.
you did.
I bet you did in college. Got those sacks. So we can thank everybody for listening to this wonderful story of 2 Liter starring Dick Turner. And thanks as always to our sponsors: Randall's Quality Lawn Care, Verizon, PNC, All Wear Clothing, the original, and then of course our new one, Dodge. So thanks to everybody for the sponsoring. As always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night.
I kind of want to drink a 2 liter right now.